Welcome to the last episode of Good Earners, reviewing The Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finesse, and finances and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. This has been a wonderful journey, truly, and I haven't got to do this alone. I have been doing this for a long time with my two capos, Spike Lou and Big Rich Town. How you fellas doing?
We here.
Hey,
Nigga, we made it.
made it in America.
Yeah, we made it in America. And like I said, we'll give y'all a little bit of the layout towards the end of the episode, what to expect, and all of that good stuff, or maybe we won't. Who knows? But we're here, and we're gonna move this thing along because we got quite the mailbag here. So we're gonna move along so that we can get into the episode. So. First, we got from our Italian brother, Chris Falone from Instagram. He says, just wanted to make sure I got this in before you record Made in America. Congrats on making it to the end. You guys did an awesome job. By far the best Sopranos pod ever. Any of you guys ever put your feet on the bricks here in Jersey, you know where to find me. Can't wait for the next series. Thumbs up.
Hey, Rich, we need to pull up on Chris Falone this summer.
We definitely got to pull up with Chris Falone.
I know, Mo, your schedule will be hard, but I want to go to Jersey and pull up on it, man.
Yeah, man.
I already rock with Jersey too, so yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, we got a friend out there. Thank you, Chris. Chris was one of the earliest fans of the show, man. So shout out to Chris Falone, man, and hopefully you'll follow us on what we do next.
Yeah, man, no doubt, Chris, man. Shout out to you, for real, man. We appreciate you. Still gotta have you on one of these back of the beans.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cause we'll still be talking about a ton of stuff, man. But shout out to you, man. Salute.
I'm so glad this next person wrote in. It's one of our favorites. Mrs. Glenette has wrote us back.
The teacher.
Okay, then.
Yes.
Shout out Miss Glenette, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to her, man.
So she left in the subject line, coming in at the end with something too long for Mo to read. I love how that's become a bit.
It had no choice, man.
She says, hello, good earners. A few things to say. First, thanks for all the shout outs after my note to you. You've referred to comments from the teacher so many times that I'm starting to feel like Chris Falone out here. That's funny. Right after that,
Did you organize these?
Nah.
I about to say you good, Mo. You good?
Nah, I ain't that good.
You know, Mo ain't organized no damn.
Not like that. Oh man, she says I've been savoring the last few episodes. I knew I had a long drive from Cincinnati to Detroit and back last weekend, so I saved a few episodes for the trip. I listened to everything from Chasing It to Second Coming. Let me tell you that I almost ran out of gas on I-75 because I was so wrapped up in what you all were talking about. I pulled into the gas station on fumes. My gas tank was empty, but my mind was full of deep thoughts and belly laughter. Thank you again for all you do to make this great show. One thing that will stick with me for a long time is from the Walk Like a Man conversation. The discussion about being called a nice guy is almost an insult because it makes you feel like you can't defend yourself was eye-opening to me. As a woman and a teacher, there are so many ramifications to that in my personal and professional experience. Our society has spent so much of our history criminalizing black men. We certainly see it in urban schools and discipline records too. It shouldn't surprise me that black men and boys feel uncomfortable being viewed as someone who might not be able to handle themselves or someone who can be taken advantage of. Here's our last thought. And the same is true for Tony, especially as time goes on. He's less of a playful joker with the string of sausages around his neck and more of a psychopath. He has no tears for Chris and Kennedy and Heidi until he's high on peyote, and he's laughing then too. Or maybe that's something he's realizing that he yells. I get it. Maybe his spiritual revelation is something like that. Life is ... Well, you don't know whether to laugh or cry about it. Thanks for keeping me thinking, Glenette.
Thank you, Miss Glenette.
Miss Lynette, first and foremost, appreciate you. I know we talked about the Cincinnati connection.
Sorry.
Of course, I just
Glenetta. She put her pronunciation there. Mrs. Glenetta.
Okay, then, Miss Glenetta. Appreciate all the words. I still hold true to your comment from the original time you wrote in. One of the highest compliments I've ever received in this space and in general. I do want to, knowing your profession and some of the conversations that have struck you, I would invite you to check out a podcast that Maurice and Spike started, and now Spike and myself co-host, called Another Week in the Books. I just think it's if you're looking for more insight just on a black male's perspective, from an honest perspective, and from an accountability, us trying to take those type of conversations and normalize them into, yes, it is okay to be a nice guy, and kind of unlearn all of the things that we've been taught our entire life, or at least confront them head on and be honest about them. Whether it's you or some of your students, I think that'll be a good resource. I'd also love to talk to Miss Glenetta because based on her original comment, man, I think she said something along the lines of, I wish I taught about the Sopranos just so my students could listen and learn how to break things down, man. I would love to do that for like a book. If she's teaching a book or some kind of thing, something, you know what I mean? Love to just have a conversation about it just so maybe they can hear, maybe it could be some inspiration. I don't know, man. Either way, we're here for you and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Same sentiments, Ms. Glenn. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Just your takeaways as an educator. Like I agree with Rich and share the same sentiments. That's one of the highest compliments I've received in this space, especially coming from someone who has a career as an educator and know what it means to educate people. That was one of the reasons, not comparing myself to her at all, but one of the reasons that I got into podcasts, to be able to share my experiences, and hopefully someone can learn or have a conversation where I can learn with someone. So yeah, I agree. Any further collaborations that we would be able to do as a resource for your students or anything that you have ideas with, we'd be open to it. Just reach out to us.
Yeah, for all the things they said, I'll just say this 2 cents. I think the highest compliment, as we spoke on the last time you wrote in, Mrs. Glenetta, the fact that we cook up and create what we do, but it's taken on a life of its own. It's amazing to me. We hear shooting jokes, but we're having intimate, intellectual conversations within the confines of the Sopranos. So I'm glad that you've taken so much away from what we've done, and thank you. We appreciate you. We have a comment from, I cannot miss that. It was from, I'll come back to that. Okay. We have, I think, so from our post of Blue Comment, Dark Grapes 49, he says, great episode to our Blue Comment. Great episode as always, fellas. On the topic of most annoying TV characters, Coop from All American got to be up there. All time. All time goofball half stepper.
I never seen All American.
I do not agree. I like Coop. She's like one of the hearts of the show, but that's funny to hear that though. I get it though. That's funny. So but thanks, Dark Grapes. We appreciate that.
Shout out to All American, man. It made an appearance in the last episode of Roll.
And that was Coop in that scene.
There you go, man.
There you go. See? It's all connected.
The audio drama series, man. Check that out as well.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Another one from Chris Falone. He says, well, at the time, the episode was supposed to come out, but he says, tomorrow's the big day, bro. I'm hijacking the pod like it's fucking Comley truck, and I'm making a Western. The final good earners chain going to Mo, Big Rich Town, and Spike Lee for being the GOAT Soprano podcasters. Congrats, gentlemen. Hell of a job. Been an honor to take the ride with you guys.
It's been an honor to be a part of your life and your podcasting experience, Chris.
Yeah,
Glad we know you. Glad we know you.
Facts.
Yeah. And he's had a child me and him both have had a child in the time of recording.
Oh, cousins.
Uncle Mo.
Tony, Uncle Al, and Tony.
Yeah.
Oh man, we love you, Chris, man. We got a couple more comments on our Blue Comment. Say that a few times. Episode. We got one from Trent. Trent C says, another song note. This is our musical guy. He says the song when Bobby walks into the Bing and tells Paulie to come into the office to talk to Seal is When the Music Is Over by The Doors. That song has never been played in a strip club and must have been chosen for a reason. It's 60 years old, 11 minutes long, slow, spooky, and grim, and was never on the radio. Only Doors, huh?
I say that sounds like my kind of song. I
Yeah.
love sad music.
Yeah. Only Doors fans know the song. David Chase had to choose the song for a reason, and I have a hunch that Seal himself, Stevie Van Zandt, suggested it because he's probably the only one of the cast or writing crew that would have ever heard it. Some of the lyrics are on point for the end of the end for these criminals, like when the music is over, cancel my ticket to the resurrection, or send my credentials to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. There's more, but I'm afraid Mo won't read anymore. Rich and Spike. Here's the crazy part. Rich and Spike booty talk is a whole new world, and I'm bound to explore.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, remember y'all were talking
we were talking about
it.
We were talking about Corky and the porn. I pointed out that there was a booty talk in the
yeah. If you ain't seen booty talk, you need to dive into that world.
That's a definitely explore, brother. You're a deep brother. You might as well.
Hey, listen to me. You got some. I wish I was you right now. Like somebody watching Game of Thrones for the first time. Like,
yeah.
I wish I was you.
Stupid. You stupid. I wish I was you for the first time.
I wish I was you right now.
I got a couple of things.
All of those out. Yeah, a couple of things I can say right now.
Right, yeah.
A couple things I can say that I'm not going to say.
That is good, man. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. I love the insider on the music and stuff because it definitely, like, we wouldn't necessarily catch those things. So thank you, bro.
I remember. Hold on, I gotta say this real quick because I've never seen this before in my life, and this is fried as hell. I remember, and I'm pretty sure it was one of the booty talks. I remember there was it's the first time I'd ever seen like a disclaimer, maybe in a porn. Like they shot a scene and the dude came on, like the director producer came on and said, hey, I apologize if the energy wasn't right in that scene and da-da-da-da-da. And they made it up with a bonus scene. Like I remember. Because if you watch it, it's like, damn, what's going on with them? It's almost like we put out an episode and it's like, damn, the energy off, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, man, this was going on, that was going on. So I'm like, this shit is fried. Like they actually did this in there, man.
Only
I
Rich, because you a big deleted scenes and commentary. Like,
it wasn't no deleted scene. It was like in between the scene and going to the next scene. They had an intermission just to apologize for their performance. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Dog, that is.
I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Google that shit.
So I have so many questions that ain't appropriate for Good Earners. So I ask you.
Yeah, we can keep it
later.
moving, man.
Good Earners After Dark coming soon.
Shout out to West Coast Productions, man.
Oh man. Also,
the goats.
The goats.
Kiori also wrote in on our blue comment. He says, Spike. Yeah, Spike Lee would have said, "I bet." If Tony told him to go home instead of staying at the safe house.
Kiori, you been listening to me long enough, bro.
Yeah, he's like, all right, bet.
I ain't got to stay.
Yeah, all right, cool. So they out here shooting? Yeah.
Y'all hit me up when y'all get up tomorrow.
Right. Great episode as always, fellas. When I rewatched this, I forgot how much 0 to 100 the episode itself was. Would you say Blue Comet walked so Ozempi Matias could run, or does the Sopranos penultimate top Breaking Bads?
I don't know, man. Good. I think
I don't think we can get in
that. That Breaking Bad episode might be. That's up there for best episode of television ever. Not saying Blue Comet isn't, but it definitely had the advantage of coming second.
Pause.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, pause. Definitely had the advantage of being number 2 because
all due respect.
Yeah, no, that's an incredible episode. For the longest time, it was the only episode on IMDb to have a perfect score. Of a 10 out of 10. I think whatchamacallit reached that at one point, the Succession episode. I'm not gonna get into any spoilers because
the Logan episode.
Yeah, the Logan episode, but that's tailed off, and I think it was. Let me see what that is. While you look something up, I'll give you what the rating is, because the highest rated episode of The Sopranos, I think we might have talked about this at one point. Damn it. Go ahead, Mo.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
No, it's cool. We got one from Monica Goldberg.
Oh,
Monica G. Hey, she was one of the first. She was one of the first white women to write in to our show.
Oh, she was mixed.
Oh, it still is.
No, that's Amanda.
Oh, okay, got it.
But remember,
It's
them
still-
two had the conversation back and forth. Like, I'm a basic white girl. Like that moment we had where they did. But
Ozymandias is still perfect 10 out of 10. 245,000 votes. So it's not like just some one off. There, everybody who voted
Ozymandias,
on. Yes, on
that's
Breaking
Breaking Bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's the not the
Damn,
penultimate
that's
episode,
dude
but the
from,
one right before it.
That's the dude from The Watchmen. I never put that two and two together. Y'all remember the dude from The Watchmen named Ozymandias? Y'all didn't watch that?
I never watched Watchmen.
That's a good. You'd like that series, Mo. Like you'd fuck with that
The
head.
one with Regina King.
Yeah, they did a good job in that.
Okay, I might throw that in the mix.
It's good, man.
Monica wrote in subject line, congratulations. She says, greetings, gentlemen. I had to answer Spike's call, even though I'm still not done with the Blue Comet episode. Hard to believe we're really at Made in America. A huge accomplishment for y'all. Many thanks for your insight into the show. I love it even more now and have gotten so much from your perspectives. And if I ever need a good laugh, I'll go back to the long email discussions.
Everyone.
Can't wait.
That was the penultimate moment of this series for us.
Oh, y'all never let me live this down. I can't get past it. Can't wait. Can't wait to hear what comes next. All best, Monica.
Thank you, Monica. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Monica.
Thank you, Monica.
Appreciate you rocking with us all the way through.
Absolutely. Glad we could provide the laughs, man. Life is hard. We got a recent Apple review. Amazing podcast subject line. Great podcast. Excellent analysis. 5 stars by Ren356.
What up?
You know
I
how
appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Ren. I wish that we could have had, you know how people that have watched Game of Thrones for the first time with people that have seen it, and they tape their reactions to the Red Wedding. I wish we could take people reaction to listening to you just quit reading that email. Like that would be fun. That would be like in the conversation.
That might have went viral. Bro. I ain't gonna lie.
But the people that fucked with the show, I'm sure like some of the laughs and like people in their cars and motherfuckers looking at them like, dude, what is he laughing at? I'm sure that was great.
You know what? My biggest regret is there's certain conversations and things that I wish I would have taken note of. I have no idea what episode certain conversations happened. I can't remember when the email episode happened. Like, do you?
I don't even know what.
It was
I don't know
episode
what episode
5. I mean, season 5. I know it was season 5. It may have been Marco Polo, I think.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna go. I've said this before. I'm gonna go back whenever I decide to rewatch.
I looked
Sopranos.
at that. Y'all know how I am. I don't really go back since I do so much. I went back and looked at that the next day. Like I looked at that on YouTube. I had to see that.
Nigga Mo said, "Fuck it."
She never wrote back again, bro.
Man, of course she did it, man. You dogged her shit on live.
That's a back of the bean guess right there.
Oh man,
yes,
yeah, that's a back of the bean
that's
guess.
Funny.
She said, "You know what? I ain't reading no."
Sorry. The build up, the look on. I saw it coming. Pause.
I'm growing as a man. I'm growing, and I apologize.
The nigga looked down at the rest of that sheet and said, "Man, fuck this."
So nonchalantly too. That was the thing. I had to realize what was going on. Like, wait, did you just stop reading?
Right, man, we ain't about to reload. Come on.
Just stop.
You're right. Come on. What we got?
Now, our mixed queen, Amanda, has wrote in, and
Amanda.
She says, "Hey guys, sending a message because you guys wanted a lot to read on whatever thoughts people had. Here are mine. Best villains in TV history that I know men probably wouldn't say, but I'd say in the last 10 years was Olivia Pope's dad in Scandal."
That's an interesting one.
She said, "I can remember my friends and I would be shocked some of the things he did. He would say things to her that would make Dr. Umar stand up and applaud."
Oh,
That's a fact.
Oh man, he said
That's
I
a
can't.
fact.
That's good. I love how she references Umar. That's the hilarious. I can't wait to hear what you guys have in store. I will say that one I will say that one the regularness of life things that I will miss is that for a long time I've gotten used to leaving the gym every Monday morning, headed to work, and getting the notification that the new episode is out, just listening to it as I go through life each day. Keep up the good work. Oh,
Thank you, Amanda.
appreciate it, man. That
damn.
means a lot. That man, we gotta.
Oh,
I
man.
talked to Spike about giving recaps. I was gonna start This Is Us. And Spike and myself watch another show. That might be a lane right there on a whole different type of watching shows that we're not the demographic for. If you've ever heard
Mm.
me and
That's
Spike
why
discuss like a
Yeah.
lot, what wasn't
Good little
tell me lies,
tell me lies. Yeah.
tell me lies, and just stuff that you wouldn't, just kind of tap into.
You
what
don't hear
we wouldn't
black
normally
dudes talk about, right?
Yeah,
That's-
This Is Us, for example. Like I want to get into
Yeah.
a This Is Us conversation. I've
That's
never
the-
seen it, and
That's
why
the origin of this show. Like that was my whole driving force. I wanted to crack into a place where you don't see us that much talking about these type of shows, and we see now that it's over, arguably the best one. That shows we need representation is because you need another perspective, something to laugh at, something funny, something that is enlightening. So that's my whole point. So if you want to do that, I still think there needs to be a Black Seinfeld podcast. Mia says she down.
Do it, man. I'll be down to talk about that. Drop in a guest appearance here and there.
Yeah.
But don't worry, your Mondays might be a little bit unfulfilled in the summer, but we'll be back in the fall with our new show.
Oh yeah, look
So,
at Rich, man. Come on.
We'll be back, man. Just want to make sure people know.
Rich looking like the team owner right now, huh?
It's not goodbye. See you later, yeah.
We got another email from Dean Miller. Subject line: Mo is running this pod shit. Spike Lou is running this pod shit. Rich Town is running this pod shit. He says, "Hi guys, final episode. It's been a great journey. This is the official #1 Soprano podcast, ranked #1 on FeedSpot. The other podcasts, they're a glorified conversation." Hey, look, I like the way you do business. And so he says, I first came across your pod in season 3, and Rich, oh man, this is crazy. Watch this, Rich. I first came across your podcast in season 3, and Rich was talking about how Tony's views Carmella. Sorry. Tony views Carmella as a dependent. He said something to the effect.
I remember that.
I know exactly when I read this, I was rolling. He said something to the effect, Tony's attitude towards Carmella is, I'm going to pay for everything. You're going to take care of the house. I'm going to see other women and fuck on every now and then.
Yeah, man, fuck on Sunday.
I remember when you said that. You said it so casual. Yeah, he said, I was laughing so much. I've been telling people about your podcast since then.
Yeah, fucking on something, man. That's all.
He said, I would take care of everything. You take care of this house.
That's what it is, man. That's an arrangement. That's life.
That was a great Rich moment, dude. Like, he says, as for the ending of the Made in America, I watched it in real time, and I remember how upset people were, but I think it's a great ending. People wanted a shootout on screen, but hey, David Chase wasn't making a Western here. That's great. Really looking forward to seeing the projects you do afterwards. I'll genuinely pay for a subscription. Other podcast listeners, please support these guys. Pay tribute and put your envelopes up. Sorry for the long email. Mo, please don't Michelle me. Damn, he remembered the name. Y'all gotta.
Hey, that is a staple of this show.
Y'all
we need a shirt. There gotta be a good earner shirt. It's a shirt that say read my email.
Y'all gotta
be a good earner shirt.
Y'all gotta
read my email.
Y'all have.
And Mo gotta have his own shirt that say I'm not reading all that.
Right, I'm not reading all that.
If you're reading this, it's a surprise.
Yeah, Mo, you're a wild boy for that.
We got another one. Monica spun the block on us real quick. Subject line AJ. Hi, all. Just a few follow-ups on AJ. I really feel like Melfi was being annoying but accurate when she said the boy who didn't care about anything was caring too much. It's like he can't moderate how he cares. He either is a clueless douchebag, which becomes in the next episode, or he's comes undone then too. I thought Tony was emptying the pool because of AJ's attempt. Just said it was because of the heating costs to avoid talking about it with Janice. Keep up the good work. Best, Monica. You're probably right. I think you're right, Monica. I was saying the money and everything at the time ended the end, but I think you're actually right. I think that was the a few more here. GS Money Baby, blue comment. He says, man, I can't believe you guys are down to the final episode. Y'all did this podcast series faster than expected, even with the breaks and back of the Bing episodes. Definitely will go start back and listen again to you guys whenever I do rewatch of The Sopranos. The blue comment is easily one of the best episodes of The Sopranos, but it always baffles me how lax the guys was after a hit of a mob boss, especially Bobby. Shaking my head. 8 racks for a set of trains is wild. But now I have a question for you guys. Now that we've seen the aftermath of the asbestos feud, do y'all think Tony should have gave in to the 25% demands of Phil? Because it's looking like Tony is paying more than 25% right now. Anyways, you guys did a phenomenal job with The Sopranos. Looking forward to what else you will be reviewing, especially, all caps, The Wire. Salute and congratulations for completing The Sopranos. It's GS Money Baby.
GS Money Baby. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. 8,000 for the train set was wild, but I mean that's what he was into. And should he have folded for the 25%? I know we made a case to, you always gonna fold if you fold right here, but I lose my number 2 and my number 3. Well, essentially my number 2 maybe, but I lose my number 3 as well. My family uprooted. Like, yeah, it's worth that 25%. Because, like I feel looking at it, I'm asking for this number because I can make life tough for you. Mm-hmm. That's the reason I'm asking. So.
And I guess my response is,
good question.
If you were going to look at it from the counter side, the response would be, if you give into that 25%, that's just the beginning of it, right? Mm-hmm. Now you can do whatever. Like, yes, it's definitely worth it, but we all know hindsight is 20/20. You know what I mean? You don't really appreciate what you had until you realize what you lost.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So at the time, it's like, nah, I'm not rolling over to this dude. Mm. But here we are.
Yeah. I know I've spoken differently. I said I think the irony. I do think he should have, and I said the irony is Chris was right before he was wrong. You know, as far as shouldn't have been high, never passed a drug test, he gets killed. I think that's the irony. That's the arc of Chris. You know what I mean? I was right before I was out of here. So I think it's just poetic, but nonetheless, y'all have said it too. If he did, you know, Acid Jacks. He subject line, good earners made in America. Fellas, congratulations on reaching made in America. Enjoy it because it's all a big something. Something. The way fans feel connected to the world of Sopranos is the same way those of us that have rode along to 100 episodes of this pod now feel connected to the world of good earners. Of course, we love the show, but when it comes to talking about the Sopranos, well, the action is the juice. So we all know Mo prefers the strong silent type, parentheses of email. But it's
I love how everybody
love
is.
I love
that. I love that.
I do. You couldn't have created this like he says, but it's the last regular episode, so take a Midol. Wow. Hey, a season 1 callback. That's good. He says, while I lay down some words of praise for the capos that deliver the big envelopes every week. So he gave individual sections. Spike Lee. Spike never misses a bar on any disgusting behavior throughout the show. There is no scraps in his scrapbook. Even R. Kelly gets it with have you had your shots? He said, I think that's the Come to America thing. Is that what that reference
do you have your pass? Yeah. Do you have your passport?
Singing it on stage was disgusting.
Oh man. But he says, but the way Spike roasts Carmela and AJ on every opportunity is Artie Bucco's chef kiss. P.S. Shout out Carmela, man. On Good Earners, that bitch gets burnt more than Valentina.
Yo, he wow.
I like this guy.
I do. This guy's is a good earner. Then he has what section for Rich. He says, Big Rich Town. Rich came in like when your favorite character appears with no prior warning in the second season of any show, and you can't imagine how they ever did season 1 without them. I don't want to say Rich. I don't want to say Rich is the Janice of Good Earners. Parentheses fucking dot head. But a season 2 reference. This dude is good.
Hey, good, man.
But
this is a Good Earners email right here.
Yes, this is the style we like y'all to hit us, bro. This is a great style. He says, but he says, but his addition made the show what it is today. Rich drops references like AJ drops cinder blocks. The only difference between Rich's references always get the job done.
Facts.
Appreciate that, man.
And he says, and of course, Mo. R.I.P. R.I.P. Melfi Mondays. I'm gonna miss those Melfi leg reports, bro. You can't debate Mo's level of horniness over the Gumars on the show.
This man listens to this show. He listens to this. I fuck with him.
It makes you be like, damn, why do you know this about me?
I fuck with him.
Oh, man. He says, and the Gumars on the show, but man got so worked up reporting on cheeks getting clapped every week that he made a baby born during the broadcast of his pod. This dude,
Mo got a good earnest baby. You got a good earnest baby.
Got a good earnest baby.
You know, I was thinking like Tony, I could do it right this time. He says Mo may not know who Lee Harvey Oswald is, but he sure as shit ain't shooting blanks. Oh man,
what's his name?
This is Acid Jack.
Acid
hey,
Jack.
Shout out Acid Jack, man. That's in the email Hall of Fame right there, bro.
It is, man. He says, okay, if
we hanging that on the wall right next to the picture of Chris and the Bean.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We need that Michelle email too. And he says, okay, if Mo made it this far, 100 episodes, it's sad when podcasters go young like that. But bring on the Back of the Bing episodes and the Seinfeld review show. Okay, throwing his bid in. See, that's the thing about being a podcaster. It's the hustle never ends.
God, that was a good email.
That was great.
Shout out to you, Acid Jack, man. That was
the individual taste of it. Like he really is locked into like us as like Avengers to the show. Like all
the
of
show drops, like the different lines and show Rick. That was.
He need to write for us, like.
No, that was like Mo. I swear on everything. That was the equivalent of ghostwriting.
Yeah.
Like in order to be a successful ghostwriter, you have to actually know the people you're writing for. Otherwise, people gonna know like that ain't even new. Who wrote that? That don't sound like them. Like you got us. You get this show. You get us.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man.
Modon.
And the fact that like that is even cold. Like the fact is like, bro, so horny on the show, had a baby in the midst. Crazy. God, that is a bar, dog. All right, man. Acid Jack, man. That was good. Can't wait to hear from you again, bro. Thank you.
Was that an email?
That was an email. Like, gotta be an email. Okay. That is too witty to be, you need your own class right there. Subject line, this is from I Can't Afford to Quit podcast. I haven't heard from them in a while, but it says in the subject line, legendary shit lives forever. 2 fire emojis. Peace and abundance, fellas. Y'all did it. I have been following the podcast since its initial episode was released. It has been enlightening to have 3 unique perspectives on The Sopranos from start to finish. I now view many events in the show in a new light after listening to this pod. It has been an enjoyable journey. I am eagerly anticipating your next project. Good job. Keep going. Oh, this is Brent Tell. Brent Tell.
What's up, Brent?
Brent Tell, man. Where you been at, dog? Dang, Brent Tell, bro. He gave us our first review, man. He gave us our first Apple review, man. Thank you, Brent. Yeah, man. That's dope, man. And it was written so well. He might have wrote over Another Week in the Books as well.
But you weren't expecting it from the blacks? Is that why you said it like that?
Aha. We really we're winding up, I promise. Trent wrote in. This is from the announcement that I made last week. Delaying Made in America's a whole extra week is disgusting.
Hey, for real. Hey, listen, quiet as kept. Quiet as kept. It almost got delayed again.
Hey, it was almost 2 weeks.
Oh, like honestly, was not almost. Yeah.
I ain't tell y'all. There's a podcast for those of the Sopranos listeners. Y'all know I'm not gonna air them out. There's a podcast out there that exists, and they were consistent, and then they got all the way up to like 2 or 3 episodes from finishing. They have still not finished, and this has been like a year or two. Y'all know the podcast. The listeners know. For those that listen to different Soprano podcasts, y'all know which one I'm talking about.
Okay.
And that's a part of why I was like, man, I do not want to miss another week. I was letting the guys, I'm not them niggas. You know what I'm saying? But sorry, that's my own little, weird whatever. But I think this may be our last one. I got to check on the other side. But we got a comment from another blue comment from Jeffrey. He says, gonna miss you guys. When this is all over, don't know what you plan to do next. Put me down for Entourage. I think part of the reason Butch gave Phil that look is because he just seen Tony give Coco the curb job and realizing what he's capable of if he gets his hands on you. Also,
that's true.
I did not think about that.
You got me out here doing this, nigga. You head up in fucking Connecticut, nigga.
Oh, right. You up in the house hiding, and I just seen how busy he got for his daughter. What are we going to do for his family? You know what I mean? That's good. He says, also, it has always bothered me. Why do they have that? He said, always bothered me. Why do they have the kids with the hat orchestrate the hits? They are all Italian, and he's the only one who is bilingual. Thanks again, fellas. Thoroughly enjoyed every episode. Multiple times.
I agree with him. Big flaw in letting the porn dude that hangs out at the porn store and does heroin with Quiz letting him be the point man for this was disgusting.
Yeah.
For a boss hit, like that was disgusting.
Way too important. I guess they looked at it under the premise of, well, we used them before. It's never been an issue. Whatever. But that goes into the whole theme, right? What we've been talking about the whole series. And at the end.
You got to get
somebody should have thoroughly checked and made sure you know what he's doing. Because it's more than just doing this one job. How are you living? What's your day-to-day look like? Can we trust you? Spike know what I'm about to talk about. Spike know what I'm about to talk about. Wire reference. Nigga, are you taking notes on a fucking criminal conspiracy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the point is, Stringer's paying attention to everything. Like, you can't be doing this, bruh. Like, all of that. The same thing they should have been doing to Corky. Also, reach out, whether it's a Good Earners directly. You can reach out on IG at K. Where was that email? Was that an email or was it a comment?
That was a comment.
On YouTube?
On
YouTube, yeah.
All right, I'm only saying it because he mentioned Entourage, man. Spike Lou, myself.
I was going to say, if he listen, go watch best episode ever. Yeah, go watch the best episode. A
lot of fun. Me, Spike, and my boy Chaz, man. We'll be rolling it out this summer, but a new series called Best Episode Ever, where we try to determine the best episode of a series. It's a non-traditional way. It's not like a 10 through 1 type of thing. If you listen, you'll understand what it is. But we did Entourage. It's available, and then we'll be dropping that feed. So reach out to us so we can make sure we send that to you directly.
If you liked this, you'll like Best Episode Ever. Same energy. Just know. You're gonna enjoy it with Entourage. You know how silly it gets.
That was a time of my life when y'all was doing that, bro. Like I really. Anyway, I don't want to prolong it, but that was a time of my life.
We was on some trash.
Y'all put me back somewhere that it's like what y'all did for me must be what we do for them. Because I was watching it. I was in the world with y'all, and I was loving it. I'm yelling at my phone bro. That was a time of my life, just going to work, waiting for that drop. Man, come on.
Yeah. Beautiful. We went to the ignorant moments.
Self-included, some disgusting takes on that Entourage best episode.
Yeah, man,
but excellent though.
Mo wasn't on it, so you know it got real ignorant.
Yeah, Mo wasn't there to reel us in. Mo wasn't.
Yeah, it got real ignorant on best episode.
Shout out my guy, Chaz. He did different. He gonna edge it on. Like he gonna edge it on. Like, oh, y'all going there? Let me go ahead and take it a little step
man,
further.
Let's move the line. Let's move the line up.
Yeah, the Ashley was the best part of the whole. Like that whole Ashley thing was great.
The Ashley conversation was nuts.
That
Season
was
6.
MVP GOAT podding right there. When y'all got there, that was like,
damn, that was good.
That
man.
bit was so good.
Ashley wouldn't have, hey, listen, man.
Yeah.
Ashley wouldn't have got none of that shit off.
Oh man, yeah.
Listen to me, bro.
All right, our last one, y'all. I know it's been
That's
long.
the only time in my life I wish I was E, just so I could dog her shit.
Look, the
only time I'll ever say it. It's the only time I'll ever say I wish I was E.
Oh shit!
Some of them like, man, now I gotta go check it out because I want to.
Yeah, I gotta go check that. Is the feed out? The feed out, right, Rich?
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, it's on the Coastal Guard feed. It's going to be its own feed. Reach out to us, man. We'll make sure we get it to you because it's definitely entertaining.
Yeah. Y'all reach out, Good Earner Pod _ Sopranos. DM there if y'all got an Instagram, and I'll get y'all the link, or y'all can reach out to Rich directly.
K Rich 513.
There it is.
I am Spike Lou on whatever social media sites.
There you go.
And it is I am Spike. It's literally I am Spike Lou.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying I'm Spike Lou, but
no, it's not Spike Lou without the I am.
Consonant?
I have to. Yeah, I am has to be on there.
Because when I first started listening on deck, I thought, why does this nigga keep telling us his name? He already introduced himself. And then I'm like, oh, that's his actual handle.
It works perfectly. It's like he knew he was going to be who he was before he who he was. That's pretty good.
That was the vision.
Yeah, that was dope.
Was who you was before you got here.
Yeah. I'm about to change mine to the real Maurice Hunt III. Yeah, people be.
Now that's good.
Might as well. I mean, you kind of got me inspired, brother. Right. This is our last one from Jordan. They just hit us like 3 hours ago. So that's as fresh as it is. Jordan hits us up. Subject line.
It's our homegirl, Jordan?
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Jordan.
Jordan Mack. I gave you that nickname right there. Nah.
I told her I was talking to her. I was talking to her today, and I'm like, you got like 6 hours to send an email if you're gonna send one.
She the one that she didn't need no puppy. She wanted a big dog.
Yeah, she enlightened us on what one of these mob guys could actually pull black women. So that was another goat email.
Facts.
Amanda, you should have gave us a little bit of that sauce right there. She might have missed that, but anyway, she says, Mo, Spike, and Rich. It's been such a fun ride listening to you all break down The Sopranos from a new perspective, a fly perspective, and most importantly, a black perspective. Very proud of you. Very proud of all your hard work over the last 2 years, and I can't wait to see what y'all do next. Parentheses. Hopefully, it's niggas on the throne. Much love, Jordan. Oh, thank you, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan, one thing I will tell you. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say thank you, Jordan, and thank you. I remember she wrote in after we had that crazy hurricane in Florida, and she had wrote in just checking on me and the family. That I read it, and that was wonderful. So thank you, Jordan, just being another great supporter of ours. What were you gonna say, Rick? Spike.
Shout out to you, Jordan.
That Wire and that Game of Thrones podcast, that's gonna be different. Ooh. I'm saying that now. Like I'm putting that out there in the atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where it holds up to how soon we'll be doing it or when y'all can expect it, but I will tell you that's gonna be different in a great way.
And shout out to all y'all who already in at the ground level, because we know y'all, man. Y'all family at this point.
Oh yeah, y'all.
I think it's gonna blow. Those series are gonna go to another place where we literally probably won't be able to keep up with everyone. I'm speaking to existence, but the people that have been rocking with us, direct access, man. We looking forward to that.
You got to get y'all a bat phone or something.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
We're going to give y'all the layout.
281-330-8004.
There it is. That's the call. That number. Call that now. Call me now. We're going to give y'all the layout of what to expect at the end. But speaking of the end,
Spike Lou. Sick nigga, man.
What did I do?
You're sick
I'm acting like Chris. What? What episode are we doing today, Spike Lou?
Hey, Mo, this is season 6, episode 21, the final episode of the great American series, The Sopranos, titled Made in America. And I'm not going to go too deep on this because there's an analysis that we can get into that's going to do it a lot more justice. In this final episode, The Sopranos' war with New York seemingly comes to an end as Tony gets a tip on where Phil is hiding out. AJ seems to be doing a lot better, and Tony and Carmela make concessions for him to continue to grow. Also, Meadow struggles to parallel park. This is season six. Excuse me, season six, episode 21, the final episode, Made in America.
All right, well, we open right up in a scene. Tony is asleep, but it looks like he's dead. Gonna be a little theory land here. And the song that comes on has a little bit of a funeral vibe to it. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't.
Okay. Yeah, really interesting. I mean, this is not new, y'all. There's plenty of podcasts, plenty of YouTube. So I'm not providing it. There's one thing I'm gonna provide that I don't think I ever heard, but that's later in this episode as far as what I think. What did y'all gather from this opening scene of Tony waking up, and getting out of the bed in different clothes? Are we assume time has passed?
Yeah, maybe a day or two.
Yeah, it seems like some time in the past. They've been at the mattresses for a while now, like trying to get this whole shit figured out.
Okay.
Still got that ooh-op with him. The big gun.
Yeah, the BFG. Okay. Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say is just that's so this is first theory. I'm just throwing it out there. Whatever. One of the first theories I'm gonna throw out there is Tony is already dead, and from this point, it's a dream sequence.
Yeah, that's something they say a lot, especially when you get into these. Not even just this episode, just a lot of the final season. If we haven't really pointed it out because as Mo said from the beginning of this pod, this isn't that podcast.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of shots where it looks like Tony is looking at something, and then instead of actually doing the act, we get the audience view. It's like our view. So it's almost like he's watching everything versus actually living everything. There's a lot of scenes like that that have been taking place the past few episodes. And a lot of scenes, if you notice, openings with the episodes of Tony sleeping and then waking up, almost like is everything just a dream or what's going on. So, I'm sure we'll have a much larger discussion towards the end of the episode. About
Maybe it
more
really
theories.
is all a big nothing. Like, what if that line is like a haunting line? Like, literally, this is all nothing.
The thing is, honestly, and like I said, we'll talk about it at the end, but we've done this long enough and had these conversations long enough and did the whole David Chase thing to where I don't want to say he fucking with us, but whatever it is, he ain't gonna explain it.
Nah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's whatever you take from it. It could be a million things.
Well,
Yeah.
do you think that's wild of a theory, Spike? That this could be from that point of Tony waking up, that right there, the rest of this could be a dream. Is that a wild theory to you?
Yeah, because I never looked at any of the stuff that y'all are talking about. The only theories that I've watched are on the ending itself, like not the stuff leading up to it. So to hear you guys say that, I again watching the show, I've never even thought that. I was so invested in what was going on, like I was just on the edge of my seat as to how is this going to end. Like I'm not even thinking about like the camera shots or how he looks when he wake up or these different things. My main thing was what's going to happen next. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this show in the sense of there are people who looked at it from a theory standpoint and were able to go project those theories and do all these YouTube pages. But there also were fans of the show. It's like, I want to know what happens at the end, which is made, to me, what made the ending so brilliant.
Okay, I'm gonna keep us moving. If y'all got, when we get to the end, and I'm gonna move us along. Trust me. When we get to the end, if y'all got something, if y'all ain't thought about, it, maybe think about it as we're in real time reviewing. How y'all think it should have ended? If y'all don't think it should have ended this way, I got one way that I don't know if I've heard this before. This is another. So two things that I'm bringing that I don't think nobody's heard. I got a whole nother way I think that The Sopranos should have ended or could have ended. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Tony and Paulie waiting on Agent Harris. Paulie's frustrated that he's half an hour late, and it's interesting that this is the only person Tony really has left in the OG crew. How do y'all feel? How do y'all think about Paulie? How do y'all think Paulie feeling about Tony talking with a Fed?
Do he know? He know him from hanging around the shop, right?
That's a good question. I don't know, because every time Tony's around and Harris is around, he's not around.
Oh yeah,
I think considering the circle, even if he did know, right? Let's say he does, because he's talking like he knows. Even if he does know, I think they can excuse it But this is about Phil. I'm sure
Mm.
Tony said this is about getting a location on Phil, nothing else. Now, if you Paulie, you like, well, what are you giving him? Because he ain't just about to tell you just for the sake of telling you. Even if you do give him something, he might not tell you. So what's really going on? But that goes to your original point. Paulie might not even know who it is.
That's a
Remember,
really good question too, though, because
yeah,
I
it's a
never
great
thought about
question.
that. Like,
It made me
I never thought, what does Paulie think about this whole interaction? I thought at this point in time, especially, I remember vividly watching this in real time. Like, I was on the edge of my seat the whole episode. It was similar to, I would compare it to Game of Thrones, the Dark Knight episode or whatever the fuck it was when they did the battle at Winterfell when the dead had finally came
from
down there.
last season. Yeah,
This was like a playoff game right here. This was like, nigga, everything matters. And them sitting in the van and they going through this and they having a conversation. I never really thought like, what how does Paulie feel about this? I only thought about, nigga, Seal is dead, Bobby is dead. I need information. I can't get it from nowhere. I'm going to the extremes. Every resource that I have, I'm like exacerbating that. And I felt like that Paulie was on board with that, regardless of who dude was, fed or not.
Damn.
Yep. I was just only thing I was gonna say was, remember when Tony first gave them the dude's info or the two? I can't remember what they yeah. He called Chris. He said, "I'm talking to some guys," and Chris was even like, "Oh, okay." Like, you know what I mean? Because so it's almost like even if they know, it's not really discussed because that's so against what they do. So that is fascinating.
Agent Harris tells Tony about some terrorist activities, and Tony tells Agent Harris about the banks that the Arabs used. Interesting that Agent Harris calls Tony his friend, and he's acting like Tony on the phone. I don't think no one had. This is one of the things I think that I have. I wrote this in my notes. I'm reading verbatim. I don't think no one has ever said this, but I think Agent Harris has always wanted to be one of those agents that secretly work with the mob. And we're just seeing how we get there, being on the side of good. So I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, y'all familiar with Agent Harris's character and kind of who it's based off of?
No, I'm not familiar with who's based on.
Okay, then. So Lindley DeVecchio, if I'm saying that correctly, I'm sure Chris Malone or somebody can correct me. Lindley DeVecchio, that's a real life FBI supervisor who was brought on charges for helping the mob. He literally on the tapes, right? When they got him, surveillance tapes, they heard him saying the words. I think it was in reference to it was a Colombo associate or boss, somebody that got hit. And on the tapes, when he found out about it, he said the lines like, "Damn, we're gonna win this thing." They literally got that and put it in the show.
That's crazy.
He's still alive too. The dude, he's still alive, but
he in jail?
No, he's not. Not to my knowledge. No, obviously he's not a federal agent anymore. But that's a real thing. So to your point, yeah, I think the part of it is we gonna help him out. Yeah, he was helping him, giving him information. Agent Harris doesn't really go that far. I mean, he does, but not to the extent that this dude was really doing in real life.
Thank you for that. That's interesting. There's a whole like YouTube where they show you kind of where, even though David Chase has denied it, but like they show you like who these characters may have been inspired from. But only reason I think I've never heard nobody say this before is because if you really go back to season 1, remember how Agent Harris was acting with Tony? He was a little bit more like gentleman-esque with him when he didn't really need to be. And I don't think Agent Harris is an Italian. You know, it's not a our people pride thing versus his partner Grasso or whoever it was. And so it seems like I'm the way I look at this, because I've never understood how did Agent Harris get here. But now I all the reviewing, I say, you know what? I think Agent Harris always had this lure for Tony, and he always wanted to be like associated in that life, but still be an FBI. You know what I mean? So
maybe
I think you're on the right. I think you're on the right road as far as how I perceive this too, Mo, in the sense of Agent Harris is a fan.
Yeah.
We've talked about throughout this series how captivating that Tony is. I can walk in a room and people want, like, even if they don't know who I am, what I do kind of supersedes the person that I am, and people want to be associated or involved with that. They feel like I'm important. They did a really smart thing in not making Agent Harris an Italian.
Yeah.
His last name is Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could have been one of those Italian agents, and then it goes to what you said, Mo, in the sense of, oh, this is a heritage thing.
Mm-hmm.
But him being an Agent Harris shows us, oh, Agent Harris is a fan of American, well, gangster culture.
Mm-hmm.
What we all are fans of. Why we like Tony Soprano. Why we root for all of the like gangsters that we root for. Why we love The Godfather. Why we love Breaking Bad. Why we love The Wire. Like we see these people in this lifestyle, and we get why they're doing the horrible things that they do, even though they may be bad people.
Mm-hmm.
I think Agent Harris is a great representation of the American like general public.
Fascinating.
Like I don't really know you. Yeah, it's a fascination. Like you do this every day for a living. You're a gangster. Oh my God. I love that so much. Like that's how America views gangsters. Like we still celebrate Al Capone. It's been 100 years damn near. Like look, just all of the different shows and the different things that we are infatuated with. Even BET had a series American Gangster where they were celebrating the people in our culture and how they came up. Like look at Big Meech, look at Frank Lucas, all of these people, normal everyday people that study this, look at these people like fucking gods. And that's where Agent Harris was. Even in the situation in the car, he's looking at it like you could tell he's uneasy. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of the lie. I wish I could do what you do.
Triple, just
Yep.
go ahead.
I'm done.
My fault. I was gonna say that just what you just said reminded me of a line in Triple Beam Dreams. Nas said it, man. I remember watching Scarface the first time. Look at the big house that Porsche paid for by crime.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like you see what people got, and you like, you got this from what? Like, of course I'm gonna do what you do.
Facts.
Like I want to know more about this because that's not in anything in life, whether it's crime, whether it's athletics, whether it is watching people in the Olympics, whether it's chess. Anybody's fascinated by people who have outstanding, like otherworldly talent and can do something they can't do. Right?
Yeah.
They're just fascinated.
That's why we
by
line
it.
up to watch the Olympics each year, like you said.
Yeah. Like I can't do this. Like
Well,
I
I watch
want to
the
see somebody do
NBA
this
versus
I'm
pickup
fascinated.
basketball.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I can go out and play pickup. I can't go out there and do all this stuff, man. It's just a
But I'm not going to a
fascination.
gym to watch niggas play pickup. Right? Like
So you're
Agent-
definitely not doing that. And if you get access to one of these people, you get access in a day to day. Like not even not when we don't have each other's phone number, but we know each other. If this celebrity or this famous person, i.e. Tony Soprano, saw me in public, he would say hello.
Yeah.
And that would make me look like I'm somebody.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And
Agent Harris feel like a
Good
man.
point.
Agent Harris suffered from the same thing Melfi did. She loved being in that world with him, even at the cost of.
I'm living vicariously through you.
Yeah, I'm living vicariously.
My life is so
that
boring.
You depend on me.
Even
And
to that,
Agent
even
Harris- yeah.
my fault, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but look how deep you could take that. Pause. Right? It's not even that. It's now whoever's associated with the person now is a celebrity, right? Look at Elliot and everybody else at the table wanting to hear about Tony from Melfi. Like you ain't even the dude, but you so close. I want to hear from you about it. Now you the famous person.
Yeah.
Like, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's just that odd fascination that keeps going and going and going.
And,
it goes on and on and on.
And that's why I think Agent Harris, he's emulating Tony, you know. So I would say for people that have had a hard time with it, because it hit me like it was like a epiphany. I said, no, I think Spike has always said he was a fan, but I think the further we got down, I said he wants to be connected with him in his own way. And now it's starting to influence his life, which we'll see further in the episode. So,
but I will say this just before we move on to the next scene, and also the person's name, it was Lorenzo Larry Lampazzi. That's who got killed, and that's when Lindley DeVecchio said that line about, "Damn, we gonna win this thing." I don't know if Agent Harris wants to be like a part of it per se. I think he just wants to be close enough to know what's going on.
I won't say a part of it like where he can get killed or it disrupts, but it's like he wants to gain something out of this transaction. I don't think it's patriotic of what he's trying to get.
What do you think he wants to gain though? Like, is it self-serving?
It's self-serving. It's nothing, has nothing to do with the FBI. It's definitely
Okay, got you.
self-serving.
All right, that's fair.
Just seeing they spied on Tony in season 2. You seen his crib. You seen how he was giving up. You seen he's a badass. He giving y'all the middle finger, rolling out. Like he's been around and seen him a lot of times. Seen him in sexuality. See how he moving, his suits and all that. I think that he want a piece of that. And now that I got some importance, like he needs me for something so big like this. It's like, yo, I'm feeling better about who I am now because he's just another Joe Schmo. Like, remember when I said you was like, do you think that's a promotion or whatever I said that you were laughing about when they moved him over to terrorists instead of the mafia stuff. So I think it is self-serving, but I think if you really watch closely from season 1 on, you can kind of see where he didn't always hit the gas fully in comparison to his captain.
You can also argue that Agent Harris is an avatar for us as viewers. You know what I mean? Like you think about it blurs the lines of good and evil, right and wrong. Like here's what you're told. You're told that the FBI are the good guys. You're told that the mobs are bad guys. But just like anyone else, whenever you have an intimate, and this is us as a show, right? Tony Soprano's the main character. We get more time with him and his inner workings and his life than anyone else. We get to know him. So no different than when somebody does something bad, you look at it like, nah, but I know that person in a different way than what the media says. If somebody's cousin shoots someone and kills someone, right? Most of the people that read the headline, oh, this person's an awful person. But the people that know them is going to say, nah, I know them personally. I remember the time they helped my moms out with this. I remember they helped my grandmama out with that. I remember all these like human things that this person did to where I know them on a different level versus just this headline. And I think that's what Agent Harriet is, and that's us, right? We're not supposed to, Mo, you said this over and over. We're not supposed to like these guys.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be rooting for them. These are awful human beings. But since we know other factors of them, they become more personal to us. And then we can look at it as, oh, okay, then I can give you a pass because you're flawed just like me. Then you start looking at yourself like, well, this is fucked up about me. So who am I to judge this person? And then you get deep into that whole psyche.
That's true.
And it's like, nah, man, stay on your side. So I think Agent Harris, in a way, is who we are at the end of the series. Hell yeah, I'm giving it up for Tony because I've seen all the other stuff that he does. Even though he deserves whatever he has coming to him, I still want to see him win. I still want to root for the bad guy.
You need people like me.
Straight up.
We go to the next scene. Tony goes to the house where the family is. The house has toxins and a bad smell in it. Meadow is going to see Patrick.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Can I ask you one quick question, both of y'all?
Okay.
Just about that last scene. Going to everything you just said, Mo, what did you think about the hesitancy from Harris to give up any information?
He's still getting
like Tony. He almost was appalled that Tony asked him.
He's like, you're too far. What did he say? He said, you're
overreaching.
You're overreaching. Like, cause maybe I think the transaction wasn't there for like. There's still that FBI in him where it's like, hey, look, you ain't gave me enough info just yet to be getting that type of ask off. I think he's still got like, hey, look, I got to still be great at what I do. I'm not about to let you. I'm not like a poo putt. Like. I'm dope in my respective field. Like, don't get it twisted because I'm connected with you. So
I took it as completely different being in sales. Like that's a thing that you do from someone who you feel like I'm jostling my position right now. Like I know this is outrageous. I know this is egregious, but I also have peeped everything that us three, have talked about for the last 10 minutes. Like I know your admiration for me. I know I have something that you want. I know you look up to me. So yeah, it's egregious and yeah, you can call me out on it, but I'm still going to ask because I'm Tony Soprano and I can sell it in a room. Like I just want to plant the seed. You can say no and be appalled right now. That's fine. But still, like you, not to blow it and step on what we do later, but still like you did later on, I got what I was looking for. That's being the person that Uncle Junior was talking about when he said Richie couldn't do it and Tony has it. Yeah. I'm selling it in a room. I'm going to go for the ask. I'm a dog like that. That's the reason I'm Tony Soprano. And to what you said, Mo, that's the reason that you're a field agent. They switching you around. You doing mob shit. You doing fucking mafia, fucking terrorist shit. Like
you hearing it from your wife.
Yeah. I'm the boss of a family, bro. I'm going for the ask. I want to know, nigga. Like, ain't really no other reason I'm right here other than trying to get the drop on field. That's the most important thing for me in my life right now. And I'm gonna shuck it out with you and be able to like, okay, we can talk the shit, shoot the shit. I'll give you some, you give me some. Okay, you think that was a cool transaction? Now let me go for the fucking kill. That's what a salesman does. That's what he was doing in that moment.
Hmm.
And it's supposed to, like, he's supposed to react that way. Like, there's a whole psychology of sales. He's supposed to react that way, not so he can give you the information right then, so it can plant that seed in his head where he like, you know what? I do need to do that for him because of like that. I'm telling you, that's the psychology of sales. That was a brilliant sales moment as far as what Tony did right there.
Great breakdown.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, they're at the house. The house, Tony went to the house where the family is, and like I said, the house has toxins and a bad smell. Meadows going to see Patrick. AJ has Rihanna there, and
Rihanna. Don't disrespect Rihanna like that.
That's crazy.
Rihanna.
he got Riri
That's
there.
crazy, Mo.
Come on,
AJ
man. Yeah,
has
you wild.
Riri, the high schooler.
Riri is even worse.
Riri, the high school is even crazy.
Nigga said Riri.
So yeah, she Riri in my book. This is the last Good Earners bit. But there, she's leaving. Tony makes an interesting statement. Who is she going to tell? I'm gonna leave that there because there's another theory about the possibility of that. And then again, AJ making a lot of sense in these moments, even though it's kind of too late, but making a lot of sense about Bobby's funeral. So how are we gonna go to Bobby's funeral, bro? We're in like DEFCON 4, bro. Like
making a lot of sense, or just unaware of how things work.
Nah, that makes for his age, that makes sense. It's like you told us we had to leave our house.
His age, he's an adult,
he's
bro.
20. He should know how this goes.
But
like,
still,
what are you talking about?
But still, you're talking about going to a funeral and you
we've
left our
you
house.
Know who I, do you know who I am?
Nah, bro. Nah,
like this ain't like he slick this.
Jackie Jr. Jackie Jr. would have known what this was at 21.
Right, that's like
Meadow
knows what this is.
Chris would have known, but not Jackie. You getting Jackie?
Meadow knows what this is at 20, bro.
Yeah, Meadow. Like Meadow was the one that put it together. Like, are you in the mob? Like, I think it's one of those
willfully obtuse. He's like being like purposely obtuse, and this is the reason that we don't like AJ's character. And it's like, bro, stop fucking acting like I go door to door and sell insurance, dude.
Now he do need to stop.
You know what this is by now.
So look at it like this, Mo. I always look at this like, all right, even if you don't know what's going on, you know me. Do you think I'll be out here in the open if it was really going to be an issue and they'd be talking to me about funerals? Like, of course not. Like,
y'all from
my Uncle Bobby is dead.
Mo, I've removed y'all from our main house. Your mom is in a safe house with you. Everything is secretive. Do you think I'm gonna go to her funeral where I'm like, oh, y'all might get shot because Uncle Bobby's like, stop playing with me.
Not,
like
you're making it way crazier than it's not crazy to think that.
It's crazy.
If AJ never experienced this,
it's crazy because he grew up in this.
That's why it's crazy.
Like, no, but his experience.
It would be crazy for me to say that in a sense of like, well, I'm introducing my son to a lifestyle in which has no idea what's going on. If AJ has no idea what's going on with his dad at 20 years old, that's his fault, not his dad's fault. And I'm not going to explain it to you right now. I can't do that. There's no time. We're not afforded that time to do that, bro. Do what the fuck I say. Either know what's going on or like I don't understand.
I got a story. I got a quick story that has nothing to do with anything, but it just reminded me of it. I remember being 11, no older than 12 years old, right? This is Pee Wee football. So played for the Hilltop Hawks down in Cincinnati, and there's always a tournament. There was a tournament in Atlanta, right? For Thanksgiving, somewhere around there. The coach's son, right? We was in a hotel in Atlanta. So, the coaches, they about to go out. You 11, 12, you don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on. I seen my head coach come down, black shirt, look like Spike Lee, black shirt with the gold chain out. I'll never forget this, Mo. I'll never forget this. They had a little thing for us to do in the hotel. I remember I tell him, the son, I was like, I seen your pops, man. Your pops going out. He looked at me. He said, "Did he have the gold chain on?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, that's the pussy chain." I never forget that as long as I live. And here's my whole point of even telling
Rich
that.
just
At
made
11,
another moment in good earners.
at
Now people gonna take
11,
that.
No,
I say
I
that to
see
this
where he
day. That's the
going
pussy
with it. I
chain.
see where he
At
going with
11, 12 years old,
He's
he
what?
knew exactly what time it was because he know his dad. He been around it. He seen it. I don't know what sex is. I ain't never had no sex, but I know getting damn well when this nigga put that fit on with that chain, that nigga going out there to get some pussy.
You black?
Absolutely.
No, it ain't just black though.
It ain't
a
about black,
black
man. It's
thing.
about being observant. I grew
sorry,
up in
y'all.
Like,
this.
shout out to
His
Chris
dad-
Malone. I bet you Chris Malone could write in and tell us it's not a black thing, bro. Like it's an AJ thing. Like
His
you're
dad
being
never-
willfully obtuse. You're being an asshole by asking me these dumbass questions, acting like at this point in time we at a fucking safe house right now. I had to move y'all out of our normal house to a house where we got to worry about not getting shot at. Yes, bro, all of this shit going on. So how do you think I'm not in? Like it's weird.
My coach never ever set Omar down and said, "Yeah, let me tell you what this is."
This
Son.
is
No,
the
he
pussy
just knew.
chain.
He just saw it. The same way every young kid that found a pop's porn stash. Like you just know the Playboys, the Penthouse. You just know because you observe, you pay attention, certain things, and that's just one of those things. Like man, I just know what's going on. I don't have to ask questions about that. Like the feds is there. My pops is not in the garbage industry. AJ dumbass might still think that.
Bro, there's been stuff that was right in front of me and I missed it until I looked back and I said, damn, that was not what I thought it was. And it was right in front of me as a kid with my parents. Right in front of me.
Yeah, but at
That's what
20
I'm
years
saying.
old, well, you're doing it at 20 years old. That's my only
all
question.
I'm saying is I don't think
Yeah,
this is
no. Don't try to skirt past that. Were you doing that at 20 years old?
No, it wasn't 20. But what I'm saying to y'all
Exactly.
is
That's our whole point.
We've seen
You're
AJ
right.
have
You can miss stuff. I've looked back on stuff as a kid and been like, damn, that's what that
a
was.
teenager, but like
Yeah,
what I'm saying is
but at
this
20,
is not
nah.
but this is not that. Like I think the bias is coming too strong because I don't think this is the craziest thing to think in this moment, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like as far as
Bro,
AJ
know
goes,
what?
As
For
a
AJ, you're right.
father,
It's not.
look, because Tony said to Meadow, they think you're like your mom, but you're all me. So obviously that means AJ's all Carmela. So there's still some ignorance that Carmela has, genuinely has ignorance to like, just still has genuinely ignorance. Like we're still
that's
doing
AJ's
this.
fault. That's his fault. There's nothing.
Okay.
I don't know.
think this is just one of those things where. Yeah, okay.
It's only right we get the return of Mo's Bell's bonds.
Yeah, like I just
It's
don't
not a
know. I
bail
just
bond
don't know
'cause y'all
how
know I
we would
can't
shoot
stand
him
this
any.
nigga.
I don't understand how you would shoot him any bail for like. I don't get it. Like even though he may be Carmela, Carmela still has some savvy about her to understand what's going on. Like she's still like when Tony tells her like when the police knock the door, she's like, "Is this it?" Like that ain't an obtuse
Yeah, but
question.
what was it like when they first got married?
Bro,
she
this
was
ain't his
younger.
first year being his son. You've been my son for 20 fucking years, bro. You in a safe house right now. How do you not put two
All
and
right.
two together? I ain't talking about you. I'm
No,
not
no, I
attacking
know
you.
that,
I
but
want
I'm
you to
saying
be
it's
clear with
like-
that. Well, I'm saying with the character of AJ and the reason that we have gripes about this as like a community of the Soprano watchers.
When you
it's
snatched
like,
me up, you're
how-
my dad. You came in there telling me Uncle Bobby's dead. And I'm
Yes,
trying to get
nigga.
over my depression. Then immediately you snatched me up, say,
Hey,
"Hey, get
listen,
your shit.
man.
We gotta go."
Hey, your
and then
depression
we
ain't
get
got-
Then we get to the safe house, and you talking about we about to go to the funeral, nigga. What are you talking about? We're going to the funeral.
I will say this. I will say
No,
this.
I ain't going to the funeral, nigga. You just snatched me up after
Hey,
you let we ate Sunday
good,
dinners
Mo.
with my Uncle
good,
Bobby
Mo.
and Aunt Janice, and then you snatched me up
good.
and tell me, yeah, your Uncle Bobby's dead. He was a good kid. Drag me out of here. We got to go hiding. I just make peace with the fact we hide. You talking about, yeah, we about to go to his funeral, nigga. What are you talking about?
Here's the thing. If you wanted to back Mo on this and kind of get his perspective, the one thing that I will say, he has been enabled his entire life because as I'm watching this scene and we're having this conversation, the fact that Rihanna's even over here is part of the reason why you are who you are. Because you have been enabled to ignore the key details about what's going on, and that's why you're 21
Why
years
is she
old,
here?
not knowing what the fuck is going on, right? Because that should have been
good
checked
point.
at the door.
That's a good
Like
point.
Carmela talking about some, I don't like this. Ain't no, I don't like this. You ain't here. You're not coming over
Facts.
here.
Facts.
Like that's just what it is.
That's a good point.
And the fact that you even think it's cool for her, like we in a safe house. Why would you want to put her in this? All right, man.
Stupid.
No, that's a really good point.
That's a good
That makes me even madder at AJ's character. Like, cause I know he was the nigga that was like, you inviting the 11th grader from high school, like, hey, yeah, come over to the crib. Like, yeah, we at a new place right now. Just like, come chill with me.
I
Like,
can't wait to get to more
bro,
of that. Like this
I would
fact
have
that this high schooler crap
listen,
is.
man.
We're gonna
I
get
would
there.
have like, hey,
She's a junior. You're
That's why.
21. She a junior in high school, bro.
bruh,
Okay,
I would have
hold on.
smacked
That's why Tony
fire
with
out of
Agent Harris. He trying to keep AJ from a
Right.
case.
Make sure AJ don't get the. Hey, you got a
He's
weird
trying to
case,
keep
bro.
him from a
Why
case.
are you
Yeah,
around?
trying to keep him. Yeah, man. Why
Why are you
keep him
around, bro?
I'm trying to get by Carlo.
Yeah, because remember he
Right.
is 21. Because when he was going through it in the whole
Yeah.
strip club, Carmella got mad about him drinking. He'll be 21 in a couple months.
Yep.
AJ 21, dating a 16, 17-year-old.
It's crazy.
The fact that you don't even have the wherewithal to know that you shouldn't be even hanging out with a junior in high school and you 21.
But you're gaslighting like a mug. He's like, dude, I'm helping her out. She's my friend. He's
Stop.
back and forth like nothing happened. Then he
Stay in the
said,
night.
Who you talking to, bro? Who are you talking to? That's when I'm offended. When you tell me that, I'm just like, who the fuck are you talking to?
bro, how do you go from some older chick that's 10 years older than you to now a high schooler?
Even more sense for me to be like, who are you talking to? Why are you hanging out with this junior in high school? You a grown ass man. Don't give me any of that shit that you trying to help her out with. Like, bro, who are you talking to, bro? I've been here. I know what this look like. So who are you talking to? I would have been so offended him trying to get this off on me.
This is Ray and Claude. This is Ray and Claude in life. Yeah, she was about $2 short. $2, huh? Yeah,
$2, huh? Yeah, okay.
Fuck out of here.
I might have to make a clip with this. The scene in the car with AJ and her and hear that
that's a great scene.
Because bro,
that would be a great scene. Nigga, stop playing, bro.
What are you
talking
doing?
to, man? Yeah.
All right, let me not prolong. Fez is watching.
Tony did a good job of not losing his temper here.
Yeah,
if I were a father, if I were exactly, Rich. If I were a father, it would have been a lot to make me like, man, hey, like, bro, come take a ride with me, bro. Like me and you finna figure some shit out right now.
Yeah,
like,
we finna take.
We finna take like an hour. We finna take like an hour to figure some shit out for real.
Yeah.
Like at the end of this car ride right here, like me and you gonna have a real different understanding of each other. And like that would have been the conversation that I was having with AJ. Like even with all the shit that I got going on, me and you finna figure some shit out right now.
Yeah.
Your life about to change in this hour.
Straight up. Hey, I fuck with that. Hey,
your life
delete the scene.
Yeah, your life about to change in this hour, bro.
So the Feds is watching them at the funeral / repast, as we would call it.
Nigga be a leader, not a follower.
That's good. Good callback. So why do y'all think they didn't show up, or they didn't show us Bobby's body or even a bit of the service?
It wasn't important.
They showed us something that was really important or really interesting, in my opinion.
What?
7 minutes, 46 seconds marks. If you look, you see the tombstone or the headstone.
Mm-hmm.
It was already determined that Bobby's going to be buried next to Karen, not Janice. Karen's name is on that headstone.
Hold up, wait. See, this is why Rich was
he said that too. He said that. Bobby said
before he got with Janice. I think so. When he was mourning, I think so. Yep. And then you look at the headstone, it says Bacliari at the top. Karen is to the left with her dates, and that's just indicating that the open space is for Bobby. So even though he's married, he probably already had it arranged. Like if I go prematurely, I want to be married next to Karen. Fuck being buried next to her. I just think that's very interesting.
With a cake in there.
So what?
You think they buried him with a cake in there?
Maybe a train set.
Maybe her ziti. Maybe Karen
ziti. Karen ziti was in there.
Yeah. You ever lost a loved one in your arms, cocksucker? Let's see if we can make that happen.
Maybe I can arrange it for you.
I can arrange that for you. But yeah, Carlo Jr. tells his dad, "Ooh, look, they have roasted pork." You know, maybe alluding to pigs, snitching. It could be a stretch, but you know, it's not that far out of reach in this episode. Paulie sits with Meadow and them, and he's about to get his dirty Mac on.
That's what that was.
Well, he just did.
He asked about Bobby's niece.
Well, he got the hand on it, like, you know, like
it was just.
He wouldn't. That's his creepy old man.
Okay,
you don't know that ain't okay. Nah, he wasn't trying to shoot.
Yeah, I don't think he was doing anything intentionally.
She would have had to shoot at him first. He would have went. I'll say
Oh, he
that. He would
definitely
have
would have
went.
went. Yeah.
But she would have had to shoot at him first. He wouldn't have shot at her.
He low key looked like her type though.
Yeah, I was gonna say she looked like the type to shoot at
She
him.
looked like I kind of got some daddy issues. I might
Yeah,
put it
like
on him real quick.
who is this old gangster? Like she
He
would have
can lie
definitely shot
about
at.
his importance in the mob. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Get that
Facts.
off real quick.
She got that look.
Yeah.
Facts.
This I would have liked to see. I know we ain't seen in a while with Ro, but I would have liked to see Ro's daughter again. You know, I told you I spoke about that before. Like I feel like we should have seen her a little bit more. But anyway, I don't want to prolong it. Anything else y'all want to add to this scene?
AJ's just talking all that shit, bro. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
This where my hour car ride with him. None of this would have happened. That, like after the conversation that I'm having with him after he put the chick out the house, like all this bullshit, like all this out the window.
After your
Oh,
conversation, that nigga might not speak for 3 days.
Right, maybe so. Even the parking on the leaves, none of that shit happens after the conversation that me and him finna have after we have it at the safe house. Like I like the audacity of the character is just it's baffling to me every time that I watch it. Like even this time going through as we discuss it, I wanted to mention it because I've never talked about it before, but just the audacity of the character.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's like the audacity that he has is disgusting, especially in the position that he's been put in his whole life. And to think that he has to be the bleeding heart for these different causes throughout, man, shut up, bro.
You know, the more I watch this, and even we get here, because I know that Robert Eiler's not actually Italian. When I watch this, it's like I feel like they're trying to lead us in a direction that he's like young Tony. And the more we dislike AJ, the more we realize that that's how Tony was. But the more I watch, I was like, I don't feel that connection. And I'm like, is it an actor thing? Because when AJ was younger, he felt more like Tony to me. Like as he gotten older, it don't feel like Tony to me. Like
because he I'm sorry, my fault. I didn't mean
no, because it's just I don't know. It seems that I never really noticed until we got finally here. I was like, man, he don't feel like Tony. Really don't feel like Carmela either. Just feel like some other character. But I don't know. But what were you gonna say, Rich?
I was gonna say, well, at least for me personally, it's the stature. It doesn't feel real, right? As a kid, it does because you a kid, you still growing. Now we got full version. You a foot, damn near a foot shorter than him. Like you, like maybe Carmela's height, maybe a little bit sooner. It's almost like, who kid are you? Like, whose son are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they envisioned. Maybe they thought like, oh, a little short, chubby kid. Maybe he'll grow. Be about 6'1", 6'2", had the same stature.
Damn, I never thought about that. That's a good
You know
point.
what I mean? But there's scenes as he get older when Tony's next
Shit,
to
the
AJ
pool-
and he's just
the
down.
pool
Like, you know what I
scene.
mean? Most sons grow to be like an inch or two taller than their dad, or at least the same height. You rarely see it when they super short, unless they got a super short mom. But even then, you still tall.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. But that's always did it for me. I'm like, man, you don't even look like.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that's the
You don't
the
even
risk
look
of
like you
taking
can
child
hold it now.
actors.
Man. Tony and the guys are at the safe house. They mentioned the cat there since the storm. The cat has been there since the storm, which I still personally feel like it represents Chris. And he has caught a mouse in the cellar, which is like a rat, and Carlo is a rat amongst them. The guy comes in, the envelopes are low, and Patsy says a lot of his customers are giving money to New York. This is a moment.
That was a thin ass envelope.
Okay.
Super thin.
Here we go. Now, theory land. This is a moment where the Patsy theory could work. He said a lot of his customers are giving envelopes to New York. So I'm just throwing. I'm not elaborating really like that. I'm just throwing some ideas of where people could be building from. So it's
I
like,
just don't think Patsy can sell it.
What do you mean?
some people think that he was really on New York side, because you remember when he told Seal, he's like, I'm surprised you're still here, and he said, nah, they got the point. I got my point across. Like when Seal choked up Burt last episode because he was playing both sides, and they were pretty much trying to like get Jersey crew to turn and come over to the New York side. And so this saying my customers' envelopes are short could be on some like, are they really short, or are you actually kicking?
Yeah,
up?
I'm skimming off the top because I don't know if you're gonna win this. Like that's gangster behavior.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I took that. I don't even.
I got an excusable reason right now to get more.
I don't even like niggas is dirty, bro. Like out in the streets, like it get filthy. So if some even like not even with mob shit, but like even with just street shit. If niggas feel like there's a weakness and I ain't really gotta pay you for that pack that you fronted me. However, I know what's going on and who you beefing with. Now you might not make it through, so I'm gonna slow roll it out. Just like dude asking
Vito.
Vito for the loan.
Just
Yeah,
like
like bro,
Vito and
like
just
We
like
ain't
Vito and
seen dude
Paulie
ever
not trying to get that
since.
bread to Carmella.
facts. Like I don't
Like
know
if
what's
Tony
gonna
died,
happen,
like we're not gonna
bro.
get us up.
Yeah, like the envelope might be the same. It might be the same, but I'm a gangster and a criminal too.
These are
I'm
gambling
gonna take it.
guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of these situations as well. Nigga, the envelopes will be right once you figure this situation out. But right now, like now pocketing this little shit. That's how niggas do. Yeah, like it's mine.
This
Like,
is
oh,
mine.
yeah.
I like it.
You ain't show me that you like as a boss, you have to show that you deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to show that there are real consequences for me shorting this envelope. And
Yeah.
right now, you at a safe house, you dealing with
You
Phil.
got bigger
There's a lot
problems.
going on. Yeah, you got bigger problems. So if I come to you with a light envelope, like what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Like you gonna take
You
time out to
you
make
need
a plan to
numbers.
kill
You
me?
need
Yeah,
men. Yeah.
right. You need me right now. That's how the streets
Ah.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how the street. Like it ain't. New York may not know shit about this. It's may just be them and them being like just gangsters. Like, bro, hey man, I don't know if Tony gonna be able to make it through this, bro. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I can make me a couple little, I can make me a couple quick little grand right now for my little, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
out. That's how it works.
Um, one of the guys we just met comes through the front door and they ask, "What are you coming through the? Why are you coming through the front door?" And he says, "Sorry." Now this was a little shaky for me. I don't know what they were trying to get at with that, but that was shaky for me. You know better. Nobody comes to the front door. He came to the front door. That felt real setup-y. But I'll leave it there. Phil calls Butchie and asks why they hadn't got to Tony yet, and he's pissed about it. And I guess they were in Little Italy. I don't have nothing else to add about that. Just Phil checking in.
This
Going
was
back to the previous scene real quick, one other key factor was we know Tony hasn't been to the hospital to see Sil, right? That's one of the things they threw in there. Everybody's going to see him. He's coming up with excuses, the whole nine. What are you about to say about this scene, Spike?
the down. I was gonna go to the next scene as far as
Yeah,
what
this one. Yeah,
Phil called to check in.
Butchie.
It's downfall of Phil. This is where it starts to go downhill because this is where you lose your people. When we at war, like your soldiers can't feel like that you're untouchable and they are. And this phone call, this conversation is like, I'm telling y'all to do something, y'all not doing it, and I'm not listening to the reasons why it's not able to happen. I'm just telling y'all to get it done. You can't be a leader and that thing happen. Like Phil has no empathy or sympathy. I don't know which word is correct to use there, but he has no empathy or sympathy for them not being able to get it done. He just telling them to get it done. And they looking at it like, we out here on the streets, nigga. You in Connecticut, fucking wherever, Maine, and nobody can reach you. Like we're the ones in danger here. And you telling me that you don't understand why we ain't got it done, like you know how this go. Or
Mm-hmm.
you acting like you don't know how it go. Now this is the reason where the door is open for somebody like Tony to be like, hey man, like he don't fuck with y'all. Like this is the start of Phil's downfall right here. Like he lost that touch. He lost that touch that John would have had. That what's the dad name?
Oh, the Carmine, little Carmine.
Carmine would have had, he lost that touch that they would have had when they would have been like as real leaders. Like, okay, like what do I need to do to make sure this shit can happen for y'all? Phil was on some more shit like just make this shit happen. I'm hiding, I'm tired of hiding. Y'all need to make this happen. This is what I pay y'all for. Do it. Versus John, the leader that we loved him to be, and as we have expressed throughout the Good Earners run, like John would have made this on the sense of like, yeah, I understand. I'm gonna help you. I can do this. Have you looked here? Have you tried here? Phil was just on some, man, get that shit done, bro. It's what I pay y'all niggas for. And on top of that, since it took you so long to get it done, once you do get it done, me and you finna have a conversation about your position after this.
I'm
Like,
really
man,
not
come
getting it.
on,
We ain't
bro.
never having that
That's
conversation now.
crazy.
He should
That's
never said that.
crazy.
He should never said that.
Yeah.
That's it reminded me. That reminds me every time I see this, I think of Jeezy. Forget what where he was, but he was talking about that time they got caught up with some reason in the
In
past, like
Miami.
maybe 10 years.
He was in Miami.
Yeah, got caught up, and he mentioned about like bail me out last. Make sure all my people's out first.
Get them
Just
out
knowing
first.
as the leader, as the boss, like I have to make sure they good. Because if they that
Can't
good,
walk out of here.
I'm the
Yeah.
one. I'm the one that's getting the blowback from it. And Phil should have known that. Like if they on the street, like you said, I'm the one. They looking for you, but I'll do. If they can say I cat Butchie, whoever, like that's gonna send a message too. So when I'm the one on the street and my head, like my head is on the stake, like nah, bro, I need more than we gonna have a talk, nigga. Fuck you, like you know what I mean,
ain't
straight
no
up.
talk.
Especially what
Yeah.
Butchie had seen.
I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it to this talk or if you gonna make it to the talk. Fuck that talk. Like, bro, we on the phone right now. Tell me what you gonna do to make this shit right. That's
Like,
how
I'm
it
thinking.
goes in the real life. Yeah, exactly.
I
Like
don't
that's
know,
what
maybe.
niggas on the ground is thinking about.
Yeah, maybe we should reach out, man. Hell nah, Phil's like hell nah. But that's easy for him to say because he's not affected.
Bro, I don't even know where you are. I don't even know where you at, and you telling me to do this shit. Like, nah, bro.
That part is still normal. I get where they coming from, but we ain't at the end. The loyalty is a little fickle. I think that's still normal boss behavior, though. I don't think that's crazy.
No, not a good boss. Tony wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but Tony
Tony wouldn't do that.
likes the
John
action.
wouldn't do that.
He like there's a difference though.
John wouldn't do that.
Nah, that ain't true. Johnny Sack is not in the safe house with the guys, bro. With the BFG, he's not.
Good point. Maybe not, but John not making a soldier feel like a send out. Okay. Phil is making them feel like send outs. Like it's double entendre, but he's making them feel like send outs. Like, I'm good. Y'all got to figure this out because I have a problem. Yeah. John is going to make it feel like, oh, we have a problem. So it's in your interest as well to get this solved versus it's in my best interest that you get this solved. That's the difference between John and Phil. Like, Phil was a good, as we talked about, he was a good villain. But as far as a good boss, John was better because John was able to make people understand, like, this is for all of us. Even when the shit went down with Jenny. You can't just, it ain't a thing where you can just put a dollar amount on it and me be okay with it. I want you to understand, I don't want him talking about my wife, your wife, nobody's wife.
He wants to fuck
that's
her
what
too?
it got to, like that's what it got to do with. Phil looking at it like from a strictly strategical standpoint, I'm the boss, I get to get away. If you niggas get killed doing this, so what? Our family is big enough we can put people in your place, and they wasn't fucking with that.
He was
Osama
gay,
bin Laden. Osama bin Laden.
Wow.
We'll go to the next.
That's
scene.
crazy. One of my favorite scenes of this series.
Yeah. Tony visits.
God, it's a good scene.
Oh, this scene we're talking about right now?
With Janice.
Yes. Yeah, I know I love the family stuff. I get sentimental. Tony visits Janice. What an interesting moment about this. She about watching her wait to snag
a new husband,
another husband, and she says that the under the boardwalk joke Bobby was too serious, took it so serious, and how they have that dark humor. It's a Sopranos family thing. And Janice says that she's keeping Bobby's daughter, but letting the son move with his aunt. Tony brings up Harpo and how she could have a nuclear family, and she says his name is Hal now, as in how about the fact that Bobby whacked him in the laundromat, fellas.
What?
She said his name is Hal now.
Oh, I get what you said.
How about the fact that
theory
Bobby whacked him in the laundromat?
The theory that was actually Hal or Harpo that Tony killed.
That's crazy.
Italian and French Canadian.
That's insane.
Yeah, but no. And then of course he gets the call. Agent Harris calls Tony to tell him he's got the drop on Phil. And meanwhile, we see that he slept with another officer who more than likely gave him the info.
Well, wait, before you get to that scene, like
I'm just putting it all together in that one Tony Janice. So go ahead. Y'all react, yeah.
I think the Tony and Janice scene right here is beautiful. one of the most beautiful scenes from the whole series in the sense of we finally get to see them not on defense.
Yeah.
Like this is the first interaction we see with people from the Soprano household. It's like, well, I get what you're going through. Your husband just died. You might have actually fucked with this dude. It wasn't Richie. It wasn't Ralph. It was like an authentic, like Bobby's a good dude. I understand that. And I'm pulling up to you trying to see how you doing. And you can still make the soprano joke in the sense of, yeah, you know, I gotta keep myself together. I need a new husband. And for me to not to take that any type of way, being that Bobby just died, like this was a beautiful in the sense of Janice's character and why I think that she was so important in the Sopranos world. Like this whole thing and how this shit played out was great. Like again, one of my favorite scenes of the Sopranos. This was the most vulnerable we've ever seen
Yes.
Janice one, and also Tony too. For him not to call her out on any of like just, I know how you feeling right now. I know how you fucked with Bobby. Great scene.
I would put up close to it when he sent her out in the end of season 2, like she was doing the like, what did you do with them? And when we get past that part of it, over the hill, then the pines, but then she has this moment I've always talked about. She's like, what's wrong with our family?
Even then, though, it was like you're
It's
right.
It's not the
I
same.
don't want to challenge you on it and make you think I'm disagreeing with you, but you're right. It's not the same. The differences, though, are they were being genuine in this moment. Even then, she's looking at it like, are you gonna like, is something gonna blow back? Or I'm looking at you as Tony the gangster right now. Like I'm assuming that you took care of this. In this scene, it's like it ain't no
Because
assumptions.
she had settled into
Yeah,
this. Like this was a real.
facts.
She was doing Sunday dinners and trying to figure out how to cook, help
Yes.
raising his kids.
You're my brother in this moment. We've never seen that in this show.
Yeah.
Like from the Soprano family, in the sense of there is no other thing. Like you're my brother in this moment. I need a brother, and you're being a brother. I'm being your sister right now.
I think he forgave her right here for like when when he was talking to Melfi, talking about the extortion. Like she said, I'm gonna tell him about the tapes of me and Bar fighting.
This moment absolved everything.
I think it was just one of those things where he realized, like, you know what?
You're my sister.
You're my sister.
You're my sister. I fuck with you. I know everything. You've been through some of the same shit that I've been through as a child. You've made it this far. Look at this house you have. It's unfortunate that your husband has gotten killed and he was a good dude. Like, I'm accepting you at this moment.
And
this was a great thing for a last episode of this series.
I was like, man, damn, I wish I got more of this.
Facts.
Yeah. I think we haven't gotten this probably since Christmas.
Yeah.
Took care of the Russian.
Facts. Good. Yeah.
But yeah, it's symbolic that she's outside of the house. She did all this thing to get this big house and the husband, and now that the husband's not there, she's on the outside of the house that she so desired to have. I think that's some symbolism there too.
I wish we would have gotten a scene or two of Bobby at the crib. The fact we never got Bobby at the big dog crib, I'd have loved to see how that looked.
Yeah. That would have like tied in more.
That's a good call out.
Capo, like him being like the number 2.
Yeah, and the guy made it, nigga.
Yeah, that would have been great to see, like him hosting.
That's
like,
a good call out.
Maybe he grilling like Chris. He had a grilling scene too. Like that'd have been like cool seeing Bobby on the grill. Yeah, good call out.
Yeah, I know Bobby got to be cold on the grill.
He better be. He can hunt his own food.
Right. Yeah, Bobby cold on the grill.
He can hunt his own food. He got to be able to skin that joint.
Yeah, Bobby cold on the grill. Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely better on the grill than he is as a capo.
How about that?
I love it, bro. One of my favorite lines. I never thought about that till you kept making it a thing, and I was like, "Damn, that is so good." I might have got it in my notes somewhere.
Tony was asking to get his ass whooped.
Oh man,
how about that?
Leaning it, yeah, you leaning on it. Like I said, Agent Harris gives the call. Do y'all think that the agent that he's sleeping with gave him the info?
Absolutely. 100%.
The fact that he was so quick, like, bro, he didn't let it marinate or nothing. Like he got a wife at home. He's got she's kind of serving as his version of a Gumar, and he's like so in a rush to tell Tony, like, she's in the bathroom. My nigga, relax, get in your car, roll out, and then call him. Like he is such a rush. That's how geeked he was to me. Like, relax, bro. You can tell Tony as soon as she leaves, like you running into the possibility that she overhears you sharing the info.
Yeah, I don't care though, because you mean nothing to me. Tony means more to me than you. We,
Yeah.
we fucking, and you gave up information in the sense of, oh shit, you know this? Like he looking at it like that. Like you literally mean nothing to me. This is like the chick that gave Tony a blowjob on the head, excuse me, on the way home from the bing. Like that's what you are to me. And that was the look of her disgust because she didn't understand that. He would. I'm thinking Agent Harris really fucking her for the information.
Oh, I
For Tony.
definitely, I know he was.
Yeah. So like, I don't care that I
She
don't
smashed
care
him
if
with
you
that
overhear me
carpet
in the
on his chest.
bathroom.
It's crazy. This nigga got a carpet on his chest. Like,
Listen, man,
what?
if I'm Agent Harris, bro, I don't give a fuck if you hear me in the bathroom. If I can, especially with what we talked about, how Agent Harris perceives Tony in this whole scheme of things, and I can make a move right now to let you understand something. Yeah, I'm calling you right now. Yeah, get him on the phone. I don't care nothing about her.
But she had to know, like, what you think I'm asking you for?
Yeah.
Why are you giving it up if you think like you think I'm just asking
And
you
you
to know?
told me. And you told
Yeah.
me. Like,
I mean,
come
we
on, bro.
colleagues. Like, you ain't thinking like you working with the mob. Like, come on.
That's on you, not me.
Yeah, I
What
guess
you think
that's
I was
on
gonna do with it? That's my whole. That
Yeah,
would have
like
been
that's
my.
on you.
What did you think I was gonna do with this information?
I'm just genuinely interested. Is that not a possibility? Colleagues
No.
talk amongst each
Not
other
enough
about
to.
these.
Not enough to. If I'm fucking you, if I'm putting dick on
Right.
you.
Two things
That
could be
means that
separate.
I really need this. This is more than just an ass.
He could
you
have
know what I mean?
D'd her down and then she gave the info after the fact. That might be separate. They don't got to be like.
Maybe.
Nah, that nigga knew what was going on, man.
Yeah,
He would have just been.
man.
He would have took it the back seat if it was just some bullshit. Got a hotel. I spent money
Nah,
on
he-
a room
he-
for
but
you, girl.
if
He
I
too
just
old-
wanted
he
the
too old
pussy,
for
yeah, if I
that
just
shit.
wanted the pussy, I could have just fucked you anywhere. I'm taking you to the hotel. I'm trying to get this information out of you. I'm piping you down.
It's
Like,
probably a
come on,
motel.
man.
It wasn't nothing great. Like, it's
It
not.
wouldn't-
It won't be
cooler,
cinematic.
cooler
Hey,
$80 room. That's
I
fine.
came out my
Yeah,
pocket.
probably
I
60
came
back
out the
then.
pocket. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
But the whole intention was like me and you finna share some information with me, and I'm going to share that information. I don't respect you beyond, oh, this is pillow talking, confidential. Like, nah, bitch. Like everything I ask you is gonna go. Like I'm sending that shit to the people. Like I don't give a fuck about none of that. You're nobody to me. Hence me booking an $80 hotel room.
I gave you what you gave me, boo. A nut.
Yeah, like you got a nut. I got
Fuck outta here.
information. We cool.
Yeah.
I know
What we talking
something about you.
All right, let's talk about these losers.
All right, so Ben, we get a quick scene. Benny spies on the gas station. Then we go to AJ tries to have sex with a minor.
Listening to Bob Dylan.
You do need to do this drop with the Kendrick.
Dog, this is like because it's like what I see is I'm like, bro, this is the nail in the coffin for the AJ character. Like, this at this point, I was like, this is so whack. I just I don't get it. I don't get what the hell. Like, maybe AJ is David Chase.
He is. I think
Maybe David Chase. This is exactly who he was.
Said that, right? I think he said that in the documentary.
Yeah, he definitely said
that's
that.
why I feel like because there's he's oddly specific that nobody relates to him. It's got to be David Chase. Like he's writing his own.
I don't feel sorry for you, bro.
No,
I don't care that no one relates to you. I don't care that no one relates to you wanting to date an 11th grader as a 21-year-old. I don't care. That's weird. It's weird that you grew up around all this shit and have the world by the balls, as Tony said, and want to kill yourself. That's weird to me. I may be wrong. People may call me out about that, but that shit is weird to me that you don't have the grasp of life in a full context where you gotta feel like, oh, woe is me, and I want to talk about the meat and fucking how it affects Americans or the war over here where I ain't gonna go fight, I ain't gonna go do shit. I just want to scream about it because I seen it in the paper. All of that shit is weird to me.
Yeah, it is.
And if that's the representation of David Chase, and he's saying that's me, and
I don't know if he
it's
said it's me.
weird.
He
It's
just he
weird, bro.
always said he didn't understand why people hated him so much. I do feel like
It's
David Chase
weird.
projected some thoughts that he had into the AJ character to spew out in lines. I because it's all of it is it never feels fitting, but these are like random bars and thoughts I feel like he has that he's used
Bro,
to AJ.
how mad would you be if you spent cash on a car, 30,000, and your son came and told you it blew up because I parked on a bed of leaves? How mad would you be?
I'm gonna let you go to the
That's
army. I'm gonna let you go to the
that's
army.
insane.
I'm
Yeah,
so
like
mad. I'm gonna let you go
go
to
to
the
the
army.
army, nigga. Learn some shit. Go to the army. Like, cause you fucking me off right now. Like, I don't even know what you
Oh yeah,
on
man.
right
Go
now,
and do
bro.
that, man. I'm your biggest. I'm your biggest.
Oh, you want to go
supporter.
to the army? Cool.
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead. What the
because
paperwork? What I need to sign? Cause you can go.
because
Like,
what
bro,
you
what are we
just did.
talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm letting you go to the army.
You
Like,
crazy.
yeah, you going to the army, bro. Because if not, I'm gonna choke you out real quick.
I don't even understand how you could do that. Like, first of all, but before this show, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't
What?
even know you could park on a bed of leaves and it will blow your car up.
Nah, I didn't know
I
that.
don't know if they're
I thought it was.
exaggerating.
I thought it
I
was
thought it
just
was
some
fake.
made up
Nah,
line.
Just like you.
yeah. No, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I ain't even know if they're exaggerating or what, but
What? Because the oil
in the
falls on
same
the leaves,
sense,
or
Like that's a fire starter. Like dry leaves, like that's a quick way to start a fire. You know what I mean? All that stuff. So like,
the fact that this even happened to you, bro, I ain't even gonna hold you responsible for knowing that. I ain't even gonna hold you and be like, you should have knew that. Like them, like I just don't understand how this shit happened to you.
yeah.
Like, how this even happened to you, bro? What the fuck are you doing? Be a normal dude. Fuck the chick in your bedroom, bro. I'm not gonna like it's weird, man. Like
bro, it's so far for. This is where
they
the
make it
black
so hard
difference
for the youth to root for AJ.
is.
Like if my son, like you said, like you were going into Mo and talking about the black experience, if my black son came to me and be like, man, you know what? I was making out with a girl who was in the 11th grade and we parked over a bed of leaves and the leaves caught on fire and the truck blew up, that I would be so fucking like, bro, I would be so mad.
I ain't
Like
speaking for. I
I
ain't
would
speaking to you for
my
days, bro.
wife or girl or baby mom or whoever would be, they would have to come and talk to you until I calm down and be like, now I can talk to you and then try to make sense of this.
That's a fact. Tony, Tony, and they yell at him for the car blowing up. I'm gonna be honest.
And he tried to act like and he tried to act like it wasn't his fault.
Can we just skip the AJ stuff? Yeah, I don't. We don't care. Like we could talk about it, create more moments, but
You can skip this scene. You can skip this scene. Like
all
this
right,
scene ain't really got nothing to like. There's nothing that we can take from this
we
scene
will because
that
we'll
we ain't
spend our day
said
just
in
dogging him
the
because we don't
80
care.
episodes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
a fact.
But the feds.
It's a
But
good
that was
call.
funny. That was the funniest part though. Meadows, what she called him, Mr. Big Mouth. That was hilarious.
Mr. Fat Mouth.
Mr. Fat Mouth.
And for real, I don't even know why Meadow was so cool with just being like, whether I'm in it or not, I'm going to the room. Like I ain't even trying to be down here for the heat you
Yeah,
about
I
to
don't got
catch.
nothing to
Like
do with this.
he chilling with her feet up. Like
If I'm Meadow, you sound stupid to me as well. Like
Well,
I ain't even trying to defend you.
Well, Meadows the only person that's watching him. Like you know how it is. We got family members that like are not.
She
good.
had a roommate that died. Yeah, that's true.
Like she has
That's
that
true.
eye. Like that's
a
how I
good
am with
point.
my dad. I got
That
that
is a
eye
good
where
point.
everybody else is like, oh, he cool. I'm looking like, nah.
She trying to make sure
Yeah, she got that eye.
It's not no
Like,
suicidal shit. You're right. That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's why she did.
But the feds are listening on Tony's call. But where is this bug? I wanted to ask y'all, and they meet at a neutral location. There was a bug for the phone call, of course. So I didn't know where the bug was, but they actually heard the call, the feds.
yeah, man, that's a great question. I don't know. Because the George guy that he's talking to is retired, as we know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when the dude in the van is writing on the paper, he puts Soprano question mark, which lets me know they can't be bugging Tony because you wouldn't have to ask if that's Tony because you know you bugging his phone. But why would you be bugging somebody who's retired?
Because he's probably
You know what I mean?
he's another rat that he's probably WITSEC.
Could be an informant, yeah. Keep you. Yeah, that's a great point.
Damn.
Everybody snitching.
You just put that together. I didn't even think about that because I the Soprano question mark. That's good. But it's interesting that Carmine says that it didn't have to be this way. But when he was up for being boss, he let a few people get whacked warring with Johnny Sack. That was one thing I thought was interesting. Like, it didn't have to be this way, as if you're this ultimate mediator, peacemaker, but you're the one that brought up his brother when you were trying to have a sit down before. And then also, you let a few people get whacked under your watch trying to battle before you finally put it down. Butchie says that Phil has changed and this is too much, which I think he's a hypocrite for all these guys. And Tony wants to drop on Phil, and Butchie says he can't do that. But you got to do what you got to do. And then Tony makes sure that Janice gets some money out of this sit down.
It's one of my favorite moments.
Which obviously we're gonna figure
that
it out.
Nigga said, my brother-in-law, nigga Butchie said so. Which I'm curious. We can talk about the scene, obviously, but I do want to know your thoughts real quick on that. I get the sentiment, and you're only worth what you can negotiate. I get that, but there's a part of me that, Tony, you come to me talking about I got to make that right, bro. We was at war. Like, if he got hit, he got hit. Like, I'm not about to pay you for when we both agree. Like, we're at the table now. I get it. It makes sense. But also, if I'm Butchie, I don't have to take that request. I can tell you, like, you do just for the sake of, like, moving past all this and keeping it going. But that is a large ask. And Tony knew he could ask it in order to, like, if you want to keep everything straight, if you want to make sure your head don't get rocked, because now I got the drop on you. I could have 3 people outside right now telling y'all after this meeting.
Your teeth.
Like, if shit don't go my way, you can get out of here.
Your teeth can fall out for real.
Straight up. Your head not. Butchie little ass, his whole head would have been snapped off.
Yeah.
Tony would have kicked his whole head in. Yo, Mike.
Yeah.
Your mic, Spike.
I think this is Butchie understanding what Tony was capable of. And Tony understanding y'all even coming to the table with me. Oh, I got the upper hand now. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't fucking with Phil. I want to, in the sense of Janice, I'm going to ask for something. Like, y'all ain't finna negotiation 101. Like, I know y'all in a weakness right now, so I'm going to ask for something where y'all normally wouldn't give. And Butchie can't say no right now because what he's trying to ultimately do is get Phil out of here so he can be boss. And again, the way that Tony's, like Junior says, selling it in the room throughout this last episode, and he masterfully did it with Butchie. He did it with the Agent Harris. It was great in the sense of this is why we root for him. This nigga is a beast. He's Michael Jordan of what he does. Mm-hmm. I'm not fucking. What's my man named? The jacket. I'm not Richie Aprile. I'm not those guys. I'm fucking Tony Soprano. I know because you sitting down here with me, shivering in the fucking cold. I gotta up. Y'all don't fuck with Phil. I want to ask for my sister because, I'm flexing my muscle here. Mm-hmm. I want to ask for y'all, like, yeah, you normally wouldn't do this, but you should. You should do this because I feel a certain type of way and you don't want it to go deeper into the future when you may be the boss of this family and me and you butt heads and you said no to this. Brilliant by Tony.
Yeah.
The scene itself, I just love the whole sit down. Like, I remember watching this in real time and thinking like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This shit really might be coming to a head. Like, we really might be, and but I can't appreciate Butchie. Like, man,
I can't go there.
You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a couple cats in DC, man, but I ain't snitching on nobody from Harlem.
I ain't snitching nobody from Harlem.
Shout out to all y'all to get that reference, but that's kind of the same thing.
You know, Cam didn't want to do that scene.
He talked about it, and then later he got shot in DC. But also, it's just interesting seeing. Paulie here again. Not interesting. We know he's gonna be there, but just Paulie really has a importance now. And when he looks, and this is what's different between Bobby and Paulie, right? We love Bobby, right? These scenes don't look out of place. Nobody's questioning that Paulie should be there. It looks like he's supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. Versus, He was Junior
Wouldn't bother
Soprano
them.
driver a few years ago, man. He the number 3. Like it looks like Paulie's supposed to be here comfortable, man. He knows the language. He knows all the things. You know, so I always find it fascinating when we get to these later scenes because there's a part of you that wonders, like, man, what would this have looked like if Paulie did have a little bit more of a role? Yes, he has his Paulie almost like the Dennis Rodman of this whole thing, right?
No, he's definitely Dennis Rodman. Yeah.
Like nobody can do what he does, and when he's locked in, he's the best at what he does. But you also got to give him a little bit of leash and deal with some of the bullshit that comes with it.
That's it.
Facts.
It's a perfect.
If you want to go, Dennis Rodman, if you want to go to Vegas for the weekend when y'all got practice, then you got to be okay with that if you feel Jackson.
Because you know what you get on the other end. Like when we need you, we know you're gonna be there. But all right, bro, we wouldn't do this for nobody else. But you so elite at what you do, and I'm not even saying Paulie's the most elite, but the one thing he does
he a
bring
gangster.
is
He a
years
true
and
gangster.
years. He a true gangster, years of experience, and he goes back to generations when it comes to this shit.
Facts.
I was doing this shit when you was shitting
That's
your
a good point.
Pampers.
That's a good
He
point.
survived the Colombo War by the hair of his balls. We go to Tony and the family go back home, and Carmela complains about having too much mail. Bro, relax. And they get to come back home on the word of New York calling off the dogs. Good for the Soprano family, you know.
It was a great scene after that scene. Great editing. Yep. Yeah, that was a great scene after that scene.
Now, did y'all think there was anything tricky about that water? When the dude offered the water, they made this kind of scene like in a sit down. They was like quickly looked over. And he's like, "Nah, we're good." Now, of course, Carmine Jr. was drinking the water, but none of them were drinking the water. So I was like, "Is this like some like weird like yo, dude, as a chemist, low key, like I could get you up out of here for?" Okay, I just
never thought about that.
All right, but we're back at Satrial's, and the cat is there, and even in death, Paulie and Chris are still having a problem. That's how I look at it. Anything else y'all want to add to the Satrial's and then the barber clippers or whatever, which is a business of bookies, which ties into the possibility of the Paulie theory or whatever. So
I'm with Paulie. This shit weird. Where does fucking cat come from? And why he keeps standing right here looking at Chris's picture? Like I'm 100% with Paulie in this, and like this is weird. Get the fucking cat out of this. Like we ain't never had no cat down here. Why he down here now? Why he staring at Chris's picture? Like nah, get this shit out of here.
Paulie's looking for Phil. Janice comes to visit Junior, and he calls her Livia, and then goes into her leaving the stove on when she was a younger, on purpose when she was young, and then she tells him that Bobby is dead. Anything y'all want to add to this scene with Janice and Uncle Junior?
Shout out to Uncle Pat, man. Good seeing Uncle Pat. Not really anything else to add other than Janice still up to her shit.
Right.
Trying to be like, I lost Bobby now. If you do have that bread, sure, we'll take care of you. We know what Janice is gonna do.
So why don't you just sell a house though?
For what? Why would she want to do that?
She wants
nobody
the house.
wants to. Yeah, nobody wants to give up everything. Janice want everything for free. She want to get everything without giving up anything.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll tie a few scenes together here. Uncle Pat comes to see Tony to tell him about Janice scheming, and he doesn't care. AJ in therapy, blah, blah. Paulie comes to visit Carlo at the Bing, and Paulie calls Tony about Carlo not being there and not picking up his phone, and they put it together that he could be ratting. Anything I want to add to them three scenes?
Say that again.
Uncle Pat comes to visit Tony to tell him about Janice scheming on Uncle Junior. AJ's in therapy, and Paulie comes to the Bing to visit Carlo, but Carlo never shows up, and they put it together, Tony and Paulie, that he could be ratting.
Carlo?
Yeah. Because his son got hemmed up.
Gotcha.
Only thing I was gonna say was I just wanted to highlight when Janice did go see Junior. Junior giving a dig at Janice. Like, even though Junior has dementia and all that, like, people are who they are. I still remember these things about you.
I know who
Janice knows it. Yeah, I know who you are. Even though I'm looking at your daughter.
It scared the shit out of her, yeah.
Yeah, like, I know people don't change, like, no matter who you are. So that was always interesting. Obviously, Tony not giving a fuck when Uncle Pat came to see him. Like, you're not even curious about him. I thought that was
Nope.
fascinating. Don't really care about anything about the AJ therapy scene, other than whatever. And then there's just the Paulie scene, more so just the phone call between Paulie and Tony. Like, and Paulie putting the two and two together and being like, hold on, man. Like, Carlo ain't here. We were supposed to do this thing. He ain't answering his phone. His son got picked up. I don't know, man. We might have an issue. And Tony asked him, like, what are you thinking? This is what I think.
Facts.
Yeah, some of this episode just feels like they're trying to build this backdoor pilot for an AJ spinoff. Like they're trying to make it.
Really?
That'd have been the craziest thing ever.
I'm glad they didn't, but it feels that way.
Totally.
This episode is so AJ centric that it's like it affects my scoring.
And Meadow
that would have ruined the Sopranos legacy.
Facts.
There's an
I don't know because many saints are new.
I wouldn't. Nah.
Yeah, you see, AJ wasn't in it.
Well, I mean, it was back in the back.
I know. I'm talking shit.
Damn, maybe they needed AJ. Carmela comes into Meadows' room and we see Hunter. Shout out to David Chase for bringing his daughter back for the finale. And Carmela's the worst. Getting worse.
Hating ass.
Carmela the worst type of motherfucker.
She approached Hunter. She said, last time we talked, you were leaving college. And she said, and Hunter says, no, I was kicked out for being drunk. You know, kind of like you're being nice, but I was kicked out for being drunk. She's like, well, that was always you. And of course, Carmela can't help herself. But then, plot twist. She's in her second year of med school.
Bitch. How about them apples, bitch?
And I'm in med school. That's what you want your daughter to be. No, bro.
Wait, what your daughter do again? I'm sorry. What? Yeah.
And it's like, and she didn't compliment her or nothing, bro. She couldn't even hide it. Like, this is how you know Carmela's literally just as miserable of a prick as Tony.
Carmela's disgusting.
Yeah, she didn't even say congrats. That's great. She said, oh. And it just dipped on.
Meadow, she's door. Like, Meadow, we better get ready to go or whatever it was. But that was crazy work. That's Carmela.
Hey, he said, oh, yes. That was it. And walked out and closed. Disgusting behavior by an adult.
Yes.
Disgusting.
You was always good when your daughter was up on her friend.
Now it's different. Like it's okay.
Carmela's so super.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Shout out to Edie Falco because I know she's nothing like this, but God, she makes you believe. Like, don't stop believing. My goodness.
Disgusting behavior.
Yeah. We get the Parisis and the Sopranos chilling in the family room drinking some Pinot Grigio. Tony starts fishing about Carlo's son. This is a question that ties it to a possibility of the Patsy theory. Why did Patsy look like that?
Look like what?
There's this look that he does when he was gonna get the drink, but Tony says, "I'll get that."
That has nothing to do with Carlo and the Patsy theory. That's the power dynamic. That's that awkward moment. Like, yes, I'm a guest in Tony's house, but Tony's my boss. We don't do that in our thing. We don't have the bosses give us things, bring us things. There's that awkward moment. I'm a worker, bruh. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel natural for Tony to be the one. Oh, I need another drink.
Get you a drink.
You get your ass up and you get a drink. Matter of fact, you bring Tony a drink. Mm-hmm. Now the roles are flipped. In the good culture, since you're dating my daughter, if Patsy was a regular guy, this wouldn't even be a thing. If he was, just saying cousin Kevin, right, or whatever, right, and just a regular guy, it wouldn't be no thing. But since Patsy works for me, and we got some history, like we didn't always have the most cleanest road, the most easy road. That's why Patsy's giving that look like, what do I do? Do I let my boss get my drink? Or do I play my role that I'm used to playing and take care of it myself?
You spitting, Rich. And is this okay? Mm-hmm. Like, am I cool if I'm Tony, if I'm Patsy? The wives really don't understand what's going on, but they get the dynamic as to what's going on. Is it okay if my son dates his daughter because I know the dynamic that's going to play out in their relationship. They ain't got nothing to do with this mob shit. But still, this is going to be the head of her household. And the head of her household is my baby girl. I'm the boss of New Jersey. And if anything happens, if there's any type of whatever it may be, like he's the head of the household, and his dad kind of hold more power than me. Hence the sense of, oh, go get me a drink because y'all here dating and y'all at my house. I'm gonna go like that's something Tony would have never did for Patsy. It would have never happened.
Yep. You see,
This was a
Carm was the
great
one.
fucking scene, bro.
Carm was the one leaning over to Tony saying, "Hey, Patsy needs a refill," and that's when they locked eyes. Like,
I ain't
I ain't
giving
about
this
to go
nigga
get
no
this
drink.
nigga no refill.
Tony,
Like, and
like,
Tony, and that's
this
what
nigga
Patsy
work for me.
immediately.
Fuck you
Patsy
talking about?
immediately say no tone out, and Tony had to tell him, "Nah, sit
Yeah,
down," because there's different rules to this shit, right? As a guest in my house, it's no different than outside.
I'm
If we was outside
supposed
and it's
to,
the
but
summertime, ain't nobody touching my grill.
I ain't
Like,
gonna
I'm a
lie, Rich.
host.
I would have been petty. Like, yeah, nigga, get your own drink.
Oh,
I
100%.
ain't, I ain't fucking with that. Like, I ain't pouring you no drink, nigga. You work for me, nigga. Get out
Yeah,
of here.
my boss is serving me right now.
Even
It's not gonna happen.
Artie's wife, remember the last episode, she was like, isn't that like when they was talking about Meadow, Mary,
Yeah,
and then one
yep,
of his
yep,
what
yep.
worklings or whatever she called them, like his under, people that work for Tony or whatever. But
Yeah, whatever it may be. Like if I'm Tony, it's like this is awkward because I'm not going to. I'm going to be the alpha in the situation, and y'all relationship may call for me not to be the alpha, and that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's going to be awkward.
And not to mention, you got to remember, man, Patsy has a world where he's at for a lot of people.
Facts.
I'm the
Facts.
head of
That's
the
a good
guy.
point.
You know
Good
what I
point,
mean?
Rich.
I'm not that in this world with Tony, which means I'm entering in a whole new dynamic. But now there's that awkward part of it, like, damn, well, I don't know, man. It can get real tricky.
it
It's
is,
almost
yeah,
some shit you got to talk. You got to sit down and talk it out for real.
you do.
Facts. That's a fact.
A few scenes where at Satrial's, the cat keeps staring at Chrissy's picture, and now Paulie says that he keeps staring at that dead kid. Tony wants Paulie to take over Carlo's crew, but Paulie doesn't want anything to do with it. And now this is where the theories start. Really, people start driving their point when they talk about that possibility that Paulie's New York. A couple more scenes to tie together. Little Paulie looks fulfilled. Tony catches up with AJ while he's running, and they have the conversation about going to the army. So between those three scenes, what did y'all want to speak to?
I want to know what y'all thought about Tony offering Paulie the promotion. Paulie even opening up and saying something like, "I've never told anybody this before." Tony making fun of it, but Paulie and his reasoning behind it, like, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Like, I don't want to. Everybody in that crew, everybody who ran that crew died prematurely. I don't know, man.
Well,
But
that
what did
was
y'all
at the
think
that
about
was the
that?
outside scene, right?
Yeah, maybe he didn't get too deep on that, but he did say, "All due respect, I like to mull it over." I think this is when he just said, "I like to mull it over."
Oh, Molotov, okay.
Yeah, he said it. I don't want to have you. I don't want to be dying on you and stuff like that.
I think I'll probably talk a little more at it when we get to the outside scene. Because I still didn't know really what his decision was. So
Oh, at the end of it,
yeah. But little Paulie looks fulfilled. And
I I just think his decision was not. You act like you're all in with the shit that we do, but when I ask you to be all in, you won't do it. And I can see where Tony would be frustrated with it. Like you've been in this shit for years. You did this shit with my dad. Like now I need you. And you're saying like, oh well, I don't want to make that leap if it's like it was weird. And it made you look at Paulie as a different character in the sense of I thought he was gangster. I thought he was a person that would step up. And when Tony needed him to step up and be that person that has the experience, that is the gangster, and he was like, nah, I'm not willing to do that. That was crazy to me. it took a lot away from Paulie's character in this series for me.
Do you think it was a negotiation tactic from Paulie, or
I don't
maybe him
even
being petty?
I don't even
Like,
think
I
that
know that
Paulie's
you need me.
I don't even think he's smart. I don't think that he's smart enough in the negotiation field to as to where that was. I think it was genuine for him. I think it was on some real deal. Like I never thought that you would ask me to do this. I always thought that I would just be a soldier. And now you asking me to be more than a soldier. You asking me to make tactical decisions, and I'm not equipped to do that. It was smart on the sense of Paulie doing it because he knew
He's a
his
survivor.
limitations. Yeah, he know his limitations as a gangster. I'm this type of gangster. I ain't that type of gangster. And Tony was asking him to be another type of gangster than what he is. And it was smart for him to be like, nah, bro, I'm not. Your dad would have knew. Um, what's my man's names who dad died, the other boss other than
Carmine.
Tony dad. Not even Carmine. What's the other dude name?
Jackie Senior.
Jackie Sr. All those people would have known that I'm not the type of person that you asked this question to because I'm just a gangster. I'm not, I can't do nothing other than be a gangster. And you asking me to be more, and I just can't do that. So I do respect Paulie for him saying, like, nah, I can't do that because that ain't me. I'm this type of person. I'm the shooter. I ain't the strategist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go a little further down. The Sopranos.
Oh, hold on. I know you
Oh
mentioned
yeah,
what other
well,
scene. Just real
anything
quick.
y'all want to say about Paul?
Yeah, just the. I appreciate the AJ Tony scene. Like, for all the shit we talk about AJ, if I'm Tony, it's got to be a relief to see my son from where he was a couple episodes. Like, my man had to be admitted. Like, I found him in the back in our pool trying to end his life.
Facts.
Yeah.
To now he's like jogging, seems to be on top of it. Like, there's a little bit more jovial with Tony, like doing the Rocky music. Shout out to Childish Grownups, man. Rocky 4. Go check that out.
Right on.
But this was one of the few scenes where AJ felt like it's almost outside of the messaging of what AJ was saying. Tony might have been a little bit proud of AJ.
Facts.
Tony, it wasn't even like AJ didn't hold no punches. I'm out here working. Like, remember, he started the conversation. He told him, listen. Like, it wasn't, no, I got to talk to you about something. Listen, I'm joining the army. Like, he said it as, this is what this is. I'm not asking permission. For one of the first times, he was very definitive in what he wanted. And not in a childlike way. We know he wanted to do the clubs and stuff like that, but it still was like a childlike way. This is more so, I'm telling you as a courtesy, this is going to happen. And it took Tony to be like, man, what the fuck? Like, you about to join the army. Once again, you can have a whole conversation about whether or not Tony and Carmela coddle him, in a sense, and kind of enable him by keeping him away from real life experiences that might give him some character, that might show him things that maybe you shouldn't park over a bed of leaves, or maybe you shouldn't have this junior in high school or just hanging around with her anyway. But the idea of, hey man, I'm not even like, don't do anything, don't sign any papers, don't are you crazy? I'm not even gonna tell your mom. And then obviously he tells Carmela, and then we get into the next scenes, which I'm sure you're about to break down.
Yeah, he wants to work for Trump.
Oh yeah, he also wants to work for Trump. Be a pilot.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, huh?
It's a whole nother podcast.
Boy, the Sopranos meet with AJ's therapist. Shish kebab is all you need to know about that scene.
Tony would have been part of that, by the way. Tony would have had a position, man. Tony would have been.
Yes.
Tony would have been making. So he'd have been head like
Facts.
Oh, absolutely.
Agriculture or something like that. Tony would have been raking in all types of money.
Definitely in the cabinet.
Definitely in the cabinet for sure. Sure.
Yeah. Sergeant at arms. But yeah, we get a quick little scene. The Carmela and Tony are meeting with AJ's. Meeting with Melfi number 2 or Melfi part 2, whatever you want to call it. She kind of definitely got Melfi vibes. Shout out to Acid Jack. You know what I'm getting at. Meadow and Tony have a sit down and talk about AJ again, and then they talk about her career change. and then I'll leave it there with those two because next we get into the big dog scene. Anything I want to talk about with the Sopranos talking with his therapist or Meadow and Tony sit down?
Yeah, no, I gotta ask. Go ahead, Spike.
I'm good.
I gotta ask y'all, man. What did y'all think about Tony hijacking the therapy session and getting into his mom and all this other stuff? The looks Carmela was giving. Did you take
tell
anything
Miss
from?
Melfi.
What does that tell you about Tony?
He Miss Melfi.
He's got a benefit no matter whatever he does. Like he's gonna get his.
Yeah, it's not about. It ain't about AJ. It's about me.
Yeah, I got to get mine.
Yeah,
I got to get it off. You know what I mean? Like that's Tony. Like I'm getting it off.
Facts.
He did that. Remember, he used to do that with Hesh.
Facts.
I didn't turn this into a therapy session when I wasn't in therapy. Now I got to get this off with Hesh. Tony gonna get what he can get. He gonna tear a magazine page out if he, it's Tony. He gonna get it in. The hustle never quits, never stops.
Shout out to Louise, man.
Anything you want to add?
Every time I see her, I think of Hitch.
Who, the therapist?
Yeah, she was the one that pointed out that he had food allergies. Remember, she was the boss's wife.
Okay.
Hitch is one of my favorite movies ever, so easy spot for me.
That's probably I gotta do that next year.
We'll get to it.
All right. But Meadow and Tony have a sit down. Do y'all care to talk about this at all? I feel like it's just a call back to college in season 1.
Yeah, no, man.
Okay.
Which one? I don't know. The Tony
and Meadow sit down.
I feel like there's something I was going to say.
I didn't get much from it.
Obviously, he said, I thought you wanted to be a lawyer for black people. That might be it.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I thought it was funny. Then we finally get to the big scene.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep doing this to you. I do think it's interesting, and it goes directly back to what we said earlier about AJ. Listen to Meadow talk about what she's doing and why she wants to do it. Just growing up in our house, seeing them come, take you away all these different times. I didn't have to ask any questions. I didn't need to know any details. I knew what was going on to you wasn't right, regardless of what you did for a living. That made me want to pursue this career because of how they treated you.
Purpose.
Like just observation stuff. Like just the just obviously Meadow and AJ are like two different ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. And I'm not obviously we'll probably be done with talking about AJ in that sense, but just goes to show, man, like what happens when you pay attention, what happens when you don't.
Sure.
Good point.
Yeah, AJ is our Carmela. She's always got a different idea of what she want to do. We go to the next scene, and we at the raceway, and Phil gets out of the car. He's waving to his grandchildren.
Bye, pop, pop.
Say bye, pop, pop. And then right after,
say bye, nigga.
Pop, pop. To the head. Then another pop. When the car runs over Phil's head, he now has an embarrassing death, and they can't even have his body for a funeral because his head popped.
Pop. Sugar pop. Shout out to Wayans Brothers, man.
What do y'all gather from this? This is finally it, y'all. Big Phil Leotardo, the guy that we've been talking about for so long, that did 20 years in the can without a peep, has finally been caught, and they whacked him in front of his family.
2 back-to-back questions for y'all. Is this the most satisfying death in The Sopranos?
Yeah.
Mo?
You go ahead. Let me think about it real quick.
Oh, I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's close to Sopranos world. But the real question is, where does it rank in the most satisfying deaths ever? Because I think the only more satisfying death might be.
It's Ralph.
No, not even Ralph. Nah, I don't even think Ralph is satisfying because Ralph I miss as a character. Like Phil had to be done. Everything had to be done. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen Game of Thrones,
I thought you were talking about just in this show.
No, that was my first question. But then, as you were thinking about it, I said, "Where does it rank out of all television deaths?"
Because
there's only one person I can really think of that's more satisfying.
Oh,
Joffrey.
Yeah, exactly.
Joffrey.
Yeah. So
that's why I was going to say, like, fast forward if you haven't finished or watched Game of Thrones. But yeah, that's the only more satisfying death. It's somebody who I would even more than Ramsey. Like as much as I
Even
didn't
more
like
than
Ramsey,
Ramsey.
like you kind of knew what it was.
Yeah.
But Phil was just the way they shot it, bro. The cinematography going back and forth, and instead of somebody a full figure coming in the frame, the gun just raising up out of nowhere.
Barnes and
you,
Noble in the background. Like
yeah,
what?
like you don't even know what's going on. So like just like everything else, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at the end. You don't even know it. You probably won't even hear it when it's happening. Like he's having a conversation about getting my prescription filled. The next thing you know, he on the ground. It's over. By a little nigga, right? You by a nigga that can't even remember to go through the back door.
Facts.
Like nobody got his name off of you. Like
And
he gets
then
forever to say I popped
his
Phil
head getting
Leotardo.
rolled over like by the car. That's fucking
His
crazy.
wife, yes, because that
I'm
would
the
be a real
boss
thing,
of
right?
New York, nigga.
That's why you Leotardo and not Leonardo. This is why. This is exactly why. Like that's that whole point being driven is right here. You're not Leonardo.
His wife being manic, locking the doors, keeping the kids in. It just seemed like a real. This would happen if I was at the gas station chilling, and I just happened to hear a pop. Like all of this is the chaos that I'd imagine that happen.
Bro,
this nigga head got rolled over. They gave him they made 10 or 12 different heads. They actually gave him one of the prosthetic heads.
Yeah.
That they swapped out. He ended up giving it to his daughter. She would put it up in her window for Halloween decorations and shit. I thought that was pretty dope.
That's dope.
Different.
Incredible scene. One of the most satisfying deaths.
Absolutely.
Facts.
For me in this show though, I got Ralph more than Phil. I didn't hate Phil as much as Ralph, even though they pulled at our heartstrings in a slick way because his son was in the hospital. But when you watch it again and realize what he did to Tracy, it was super satisfying to see Tony get him up out of there. So but this is probably right after. But one thing, just the car still moving at 2 miles per hour in your windows now. Give me a break. Like this is 2007, dude. Just pull the lock up, bro. Reach your arm in and
you're not thinking clearly, man. You just seeing your husband's head get blown off, man. You just you know what I mean? Your rational, your
now. How y'all felt about AJ asking about going to a funeral, DEFCON 4? This is how I feel about this thing. I'm like, man, give me a break.
That's crazy.
Like your head getting popped. I get how crazy it is, but there's never been in any line, any moment in my life as crazy as being in the car to feel like I got to hop out without putting it in park.
I don't know, man. Somebody
just got shot in front of you, nigga.
It's so mechanic. I just never seen I'm literally driving. It's like, oh, I'm jumping right out the car. I'm gonna put it in park, bro.
But all right, let me ask you this. So I get what you're saying. I'm not gonna refute that. Would you agree that this situation will warrant somebody not putting their car in park and trying to help out?
It warrants.
Would you at least agree to that?
It warrants, but it's just it's hard to believe to me. It's just hard to believe.
See, it's very believable to me.
I think it was perfect.
Yeah,
I think it was perfect. Like, who is she? Who is she to be like, oh, I need to throw the car in park?
And literally going and here's
I seen the love of my life, who I ain't even. I'm like, AJ.
That's a crazy sight.
Oh, what do you mean
your
with the
spouse,
funeral?
bro.
Like she just like AJ.
Popped in the head
like
right
she ain't really looking at it like this is what's going on, and there's beef in the sense of we doing this, and beefing and all these things are going on. Like she looking at it like, oh, I'm just talking to you, and we and you are having a conversation. You get shot in the head. I'm so traumatized. I'm running away. I ain't thinking about throwing a car in park.
And the beautiful thing, other than the cinematography and how they shot this scene, is the back and forth human emotion. That's what makes it real, right? Because it's not just about Phil, right? It is a Phil, and then to your point, Mo, I'm snapping into it like, oh shit, the kids are in the car. I can't get in the car. I'm back and forth. My husband on the ground, my kids in the car. Which one I do? What do I do? What do I do? Somebody help. Like it was I could, like I said, if I was at that gas station and I was inside buying snacks, you know what I'm saying? Mo's in the car, he wants a Slim Jim. So I'm picking up a Slim Jim from Mo. Like I know it's some Yoo-Hoo, you know what I'm saying? I know some Slim Jim and some Yoo-Hoo. That's Mo's order.
Where does he get this stuff?
I just know that if I looked out the window, I would expect to see that. I would expect to see exactly what it
tracks. Like, don't get me wrong, it tracks. It's fine. Like I'm not tripping about it for real. It's we get a few more scenes. Agent Harris gets the news and says we can win this thing. AJ and his parents.
AJ came down on the road looking like Tony.
Yeah, again, this is why I say I feel like they're setting up this backdoor pilot that nobody wanted, which I'm glad they read the room quickly. But this is trash, and it's affecting my rating of the episode as I spoke. But and then and then Tony.
Let me just say this about this scene before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all probably don't have much to add to it because it's about AJ. It's just always so fascinating to me. I don't think AJ's smart enough to have been doing this on purpose, but it does say something about your purpose in life and what that means, right? Like what it means to do something you want to do versus doing something I have to do, or doing something because I don't have any other options. Like once they found out this is real enough for him to go to Afghanistan and enlist in the army, fuck it, we'll cave. Like we'll get you involved on the movie sets, and you want to do a club, we can invest you in that if you handle this correctly. We're finally caving because you finally presented something to where, all right, this is real serious life or death. We didn't think that you had it in you to be smart or dumb enough to get yourself killed.
Facts.
But now that we see that this is the case, maybe if you mix on the fact that you did try to unalive yourself recently, you know what? Maybe it is in your best interest. And just for AJ's whole demeanor to change, and almost if you didn't know any better, you would think that AJ conned his way into all of this.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
He did some Tony shit.
He enabling it like that, and they're enabling. Like I said a couple times this episode. Said a couple times this episode, man. We're mad at AJ, but we really should be mad at Tony and Carmela just as equal. Like you can't be mad at. There's no way he's gonna get the same. Like he's not gonna be you, Tony, because he didn't grow up like you, and you made sure of that.
Good point.
Yeah. Tony and his attorney talk, and he says 80 to 90% he will be indicted on the gun charge plus the interstate fraud. And if Carlo is talking, it's over. Never mind. I was gonna ask didn't the lawyer get the gun charge off? But then again, I remember it came back again.
Yeah, but I say they did, but then it came back. For one, I bet them burgers were slapping.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what gives this is part of what makes the ending so brilliant to me. Either way, regardless of whatever happened, this wasn't going to end well for Tony no matter how you slice it. No matter how you slice it. And I love the fact that they had this scene just to remind us. We've been knowing this, right? We know we're in at the end. We've known that since the pilot. But even if nothing did happen, and we'll talk about it in the final scene about your theories and what you thought about Tony, what you think about Tony, blah, blah, blah. Tony was going to get arrested. Something was going to happen to Tony one way or another. And that's just the life we live. That's where we are with this thing. And that's why I appreciate that scene so much. Just to remind us.
We needed this.
Yeah, we needed this.
This is heavy. What you got to say about it, Spike, with the lawyer?
No, I agree with everything Rich said. We talking, I'm trying to get the ketchup out the bottle. Like, I'm frustrated because you bullshitting me. Like, I don't give a fuck about this ketchup, nigga. Like, why you doing this? And all of it winds up to I'm trying to figure out my best out for this, and you ain't giving me no answers.
Yeah, he's killed all his people that he could, insulate himself with. Like he didn't kill Bobby, and when he told Bobby about Chris, like he didn't kill Bobby got killed, and he killed Chris. So remember, he was trying to find a way to get out and find a third option, but both of them dead now. So he said, "Didn't we not foresee this day coming?" And it's like it's how anything is with any of us.
We knew this was gonna happen.
We knew this was gonna happen. So man, that was a tough. Like, cause you could see the stress on his face, dude. Like, I'm going to jail. Like, I'm going to prison for real. It's
you ain't no help. You ain't no help. I paid you all this money,
but he kept you for a minute.
No help for me. Yeah, I fuck with you. I get where you got me to, but still, you ain't no help to me, my nigga.
Bro, and you got me. He just got out of the Phil war, and Phil is dead. And he's like, okay, we back at the crib,
Facts.
and then like now you about to have a new crib. You know what I mean? Man, what a bomb. 80 to 90%. But Tony visits Sylvia in the hospital. Paulie is real superstitious about the April crew, and now there's no longer an April crew, and Paulie wants nothing to do with it. It's kind of
You can't tell me that. If I'm Paulie, you can't tell me that. I'm gonna pass. Like I'm like that. That's one of the things that pissed me off more than anything from the series. Don't tell me you gonna pass on. Like, bro, this is your job. You're a gangster. This is what is called for the field of work that you do. And you trying to tell me like, I don't know, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't, like, nah, bro, that shit don't work.
Yeah.
Real quick, I know we don't need it, but I'm curious to know: would you have liked to see a reaction of Tony finding out that Phil died?
Yeah, I would.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I take
said,
it.
I know we don't need it. We
die?
don't need it.
Did he die though?
Who, Phil?
Yeah.
He got his head fucking ran over by a car and got shot twice. What are you talking
Phil
about?
Leotardo, bro. We talking about Phil
Oh,
Leotardo.
okay. Well, I thought you were going to Seal. I thought
No.
I was thinking
no.
Seal. I was thinking
No.
Seal.
Okay,
Phil. Like, would you? Well, Tony never gets the confirmation or that news when
Facts.
he
You're
finds
right.
out. Like I said, we don't need it, but I'm just curious if you would have wanted it. I'm like, hold on, my nigga.
Rich's reaction is priceless. He got his head
That was
fucking
good.
red.
You're right. Because I
His
thought he
head
said
fucking red over.
no. I thought he said Seal though.
No,
Okay,
that's fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah.
That
Sleepy
reaction,
Spike. Sleepy Spike.
That we get through there.
Hey,
It's the
man, I've
last
been
one for
recording all
ages.
day,
Nah, we
man.
getting there. We are.
Hey, I know. We
almost
stupid
through,
late.
man. We almost through.
Yeah, we almost there.
Oh shit.
But I don't really got nothing to add with Paulie. Did Paulie accept the offer or not? That's the thing I was confused
He
about.
didn't, man.
Because he was like, I
That's-
live to.
I think
That's
he
the
did.
thing that would hurt me. I don't think he did, Rich.
He said, I live
That's
to.
the thing
to
that would hurt
please.
me. Like, bro, you've been doing this shit for so long. You was down with my dad, and I gotta sell you on this shit. Come on, bro.
Man,
You a
I think
gangster.
when he said that I'm gonna get, because we all know what it's like. We all know. You don't want to bet. I'm gonna get your fucking op, not your op, but somebody I know that you would be looking at crazy. Like, you running this shit, I gotta report to you. Hell nah. I think when he said, fuck it, I'll get Patsy. Patsy about to be a part of the family. And Paulie looked at him and said, man, you prick. You know exactly what to say.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve you. I think that's him saying, all right, bet I'll do it.
Okay. All right.
That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. Now, some people's theories that think Paulie might be behind if Tony got whacked is he was saying this, he'll accept it because he knew Tony wouldn't be around.
Yeah.
That's just a theory that people go with. This is a part of that. I'm just loosely tying it in. But yeah.
We're gonna have a back of the Bing episode about the theories.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. We can lay out
Definitely
all
like
these
this
theories
Made in
for those
America
who
kind of like.
For those who aren't familiar or don't get too deep into it, even though we're not a pod that does that, it would be cool to spend one episode and just kind of unpack all these theories and what really has legs and what doesn't.
Facts. Because to be honest, the episode was over after that conversation with him and Paulie. Everything with AJ going to pull up and all the,
and that's what I was about to do. I'm about to wrap this whole.
It was over. It was over after that.
Land this whole thing.
Well, we only got 2 more scenes. You might as well do them. Well, you can skip the AJ one.
We got.
We got more. My bad.
Got about 4 scenes.
I thought we were about to get. I thought we were going straight to Uncle June.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna put these all together and then react however. So AJ drives a BMW and goes to pick up his minor girlfriend, Riri.
High school. We all done seen that, man. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah,
we all done seen the older nigga picking up the classmate.
Yeah, yep. We've talked about this all the time.
Disgusting.
They decide they're going to hostings for what we would consider the Last Supper. Tony visits Junior and basically, first he's angry and mad at Junior, then he tries to bring up the past and see if Junior remembers. And Junior is confused. And then Tony tells him about how him and his dad used to run Jersey, and he's like, that's nice. And that teary-eyed look that Tony has, bro. And then lastly, we get the Holstein's scene that is widely talked about in Soprano lore and in television finale lore. What do y'all want to say about these last few scenes before we get into our rankings and close this side of the show?
I talked about the AJ thing in my previous, like, now that he's getting what he wants, everything that he thought was out the blue. At first, he was talking about going to the army, and now he's laughing at his same commander in chief dancing and stuff like that. He's getting a kick out of it. So all of that shit was just a hoax, whatever. Tony in the backyard, obviously contemplating. Some people's scripts, some of the actors, their scripts, that was the final scene. They thought that's how the show ended, just kind of stopping these spoilers or leaks. Mm-hmm. Uncle June, I always find it, I don't want to say beautiful.
I know
it's significant. It's a very significant scene, even if nothing really happens. You have to see them together one more time. You get late into the episode, because I'm thinking about this in real time, right? As you're watching it, after the blue comet, and you can kind of tell by the pace of this episode, right? There's not a ton of there's nothing else to look forward to for us to kind of dive deep. It's more so about talking about what happened in this final episode. The story is already done for the most part. We just want to see if there's any more surprises. Like, the story was done after Blue Comet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Are there any more surprises that we should be looking forward to? And as I'm watching this for the first time, I remember thinking, like, all right, there's got to be an Uncle Junior scene, right? Like, you can't leave this show without having a Tony Uncle Junior scene. And they've been leading up to it. Uncle Pat, Janice, both of them asking, and then you finally get it. And you don't know how it's going to go. And then there's that moment when he says, like, you don't know who I am, do you? And Tony has all this anger, and it's like one of those things, like, man, it's almost like sad for him that I can't be mad at you because you don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't, even if Tony still believes that he did know what he was doing at that moment, you don't know what you're doing now. So me being angry with you only affects me. Mm-hmm. Like, part of me being upset and being a prick is you knowing that I'm being a prick. You knowing that you need my help and I'm not going to help you. That's taken away now. Once again, it's all a big nothing. Like, none of this even matters at this point. So fuck it, let me tell you what you need to receive it, not receive it. You're going to be here forever anyway. I'll probably never see you again, regardless of the outcome. And I just think it's very fascinating. And all this time you carrying this anger for nothing. It's just affecting you.
That was a good breakdown.
Yeah, and this just shows this is the third option. They went to Bobby's funeral. That's option number one of this thing of theirs. Number two, when he met with his attorney, you can end up in prison. Or number three, you can end up like Junior. There's only three options to how this thing goes. And him seeing that could have been him. So Tony's making his his last run before he knows he's about to get locked up. And that's pretty much that.
Yeah, and I think this might be the only time in the series where, like I said, I just specifically remember my first time watching it. Him, you don't remember who I am. You don't know who I am, do you? And then Johnny, you remember Johnny Boy? And then he said, this thing of ours. And I think that's the only time they really referenced it as that. Mm-hmm. And then the Junior's like, I was a part of that? Like, you know what I mean? Just that, I just thought, for it to be the last time, I just love the fact that they kind of put it all out there on the table.
Yeah, man, he acted his butt off because, boy, he looked like a sad old man.
Yeah, he does.
Thanks. And even you talk about acting your butt off. AJ's response to, like, you told me to hone into the good times and the things that they're talking about at the table.
Yeah, hosting.
Before Meadow gets there, before any food, like onion rings or whatever it might be, like, oh shit, like, this is the end of this.
Yeah.
It was so iconic in my sense.
It is. It's very iconic. I don't have a ton to say about the hosting scene. I mean, there's theories like, oh, the guy with the jacket. Hosting. Yeah, I'm saying around hosting.
Yeah, man. Wes Caldwell. Nigga, hostess, nigga.
That's funny.
Wes Caldwell. I hosted. My bad. I niggified it up real quick.
Shit.
But hostings. But here's one more theory here. outside of like, did he get killed? Tony is looking and he sees himself from the door. Do you remember that, Spike? When Tony walks into Hostins? Yeah. Okay, so that's where the theory is. Some people believe Tony was shot there, but the rest of it that continues after that, he was shot in the back of the head, and the rest of it is a dream. Don't stop believing. That's just another theory.
So I'll add on to that, Mo. So you brought it up and we talked about it in the episode. Tony seeing things, right? Just seeing things and watching them play out. We know about the members only guy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear it coming. We already know about that. They referenced that in the blue comment.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what happened until it was over. Sil said that when Jerry got hit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a theory from some fans that they say the black screen when we cut to black, that's actually Tony dying.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony looking is kind of the whole thing about seeing this over and over. And this really ties into the whole Chris thing, right? So my fault, I have this written down somewhere. So Chris died when he almost died, right? What season was that? 2? 1?
3.
2.
I think.
That was 2.
2?
Either way. When Chris almost died, he went into purgatory, right? He said he has a warning. He said, remember he told Tony that his dad, Dickie, gave him a warning. It said 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Right, so remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Tony walks into the diner, sees himself. Then we see Tony sitting down. We skip the part of him walking to the table, right? That's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Or some might say it's intentional. If you notice where the bathroom is, if that dude in the member jacket who is alluded to being the person who have killed Tony, he would have been at Tony's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Which means, remember Chris said, I had a dream where I just kept watching myself getting whacked over and over and over. So to tie into Tony watching this, I'm watching myself get whacked over and over. And that's what this cycle is that fans have come up to and kind of speculating the theory. You know what I mean? So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I will say this, outside of the theories and conspiracies, because we'll just talk about, I think it's more interesting to just talk about what we think happened, what we thought happened when we first watched it, and what we think today. And some quotes from David Chase that might lean one way or another. But do you know this scene came down to 2 songs? Don't Stop Believing. Do you know what the other song was?
No.
Do not remember.
Al Green's Love and Happiness.
Of course. Of course.
How crazy would this show have been?
That would have been too racist.
It doesn't fit, right?
Didn't go with it.
Well, the reason he went, so for those who don't know, the reason he went with it is because he asked people like on the crew and staff how they felt about Don't Stop Believing. And they was like, people were like, I hate it or they love it. And he was just, David Chase's idea was this song, whether you like it or don't, it provokes an immediate reaction. Like you have a reaction. You're not middle of the ground. You're not like, whatever. You know what I mean? As we discussed choosing a name for our new show, there's been a lot of I don't know, that don't really move me versus like, nah, it's this or it ain't. Like this is it, this ain't it. And that's what he was like, you know what? I want people, sort of like the ending, I want people to have a reaction one way or another very strongly. What you think happened, what you didn't think happened, I want to provoke that. And I think part of the he said part of the reason for picking that song is because that song puts you in that mindset as well. You already start feeling I either like this or I don't.
That's a good point.
All right, Spike, what do you think happened to Tony?
He was shot in the diner. Somebody put the hit out on him post Phil being killed, and he died.
Rich?
So shout out to my guy Brian. For the longest, him and I would go back and forth. Like he could not fathom how I thought Tony was still alive. Like when I first watched this series for the first time, like I tried to find every single internet blurb that would point to my direction or help my theory that Tony's still alive. That this was a dream. You know, I was on the dream theory early. Like this is all a dream anyway. This ain't really happening. But over time, and of course, David Chase has pretty much come out and say there's an article in 2019 where he inadvertently he referred to something as a death scene, and the writer even said, the interviewer was even like, "Do you know what you just said?" And his response was like, "Fuck you guys," because he knew he had slipped up and said it, and he's always slipped up and said things that come back and retracted them or redacted them, and kind of said, "Oh, this ain't what I meant. I meant he could die, he didn't die, blah blah blah." Tony's dead. Like Tony's dead. Tony got it. The interesting question it would be who did it, who
Facts.
put the hit out on him.
That's there's a podcast, somebody broke it down perfectly. If y'all interested in that, it's a part 1 and 2. Dude broke it down how it could have happened, and that's where I pulled a lot of interesting theories from.
But I will say the brilliance of David Chase. A, you stay true to who you are. As crazy as it is to be talking about a show about mobsters and all the mayhem that we've seen on screen, it would be cheap to see Tony blasted in the head and a face full of onion rings. Like, you know what I mean? That wouldn't have felt right. Versus now, because the way you ended it the way you did, we're able to have this podcast 25 years later, however long it's been since the finale, or since the show started 25. So what, 18 or so years since the last episode. You don't have that if you have a definitive answer. Like you get years and years and years of people and new people finding the show to figure out what it was that they think happened and theories to support them. And nobody's crazy. Nobody can be wrong. Even though I think it's pretty clear. Because even if he isn't dead, like you going to jail.
It's over regardless.
If you don't die now, you're going to die later. There's going to be another beat somewhere down the line. Like somebody's going to get you, my nigga.
The brilliance of this is, what do you think happened?
Yeah,
What
I do.
when it cut to black, and you've been watching this shit every episode, you're invested in these characters. What do you think happened? And that's one of the greatest, like, when we're doing writers or whatever it may be for as far as David Chase, how did you perceive this? That's the great thing about what we seen when it's ended.
It's a revolving door. It's a revolving door. I think either way it goes, people used to be like, "Oh, well, Tony can't die. Who would shoot him in front of his family?" I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't just see a few scenes ago Phil got killed in front of his family." Like people always say this. I'm like, what do y'all mean? Like this is the end at the end. Niggas don't got the respect like they used to. But for
all that Breaking Bad, The Wire, all the bullshit that you say, oh, this is how it has to end, it didn't apply to this show. And that's what make this show so great.
Yeah, I'd say, only thing I'd say is I think an interesting ending would have been that we would have got a rewind and everything. Tony never left the hospital. Like somewhere where they get us like back to the hospital. It's like, oh, he never left the hospital. He's still in a coma. Like to me, that would be like a crazy, like, oh. But that is our episode, and that is the series, y'all, of Sopranos, man. Before we get out of here, we leave with rank. So, Spike Lou, how do you rank this episode? Is it a good earner? Is it a just another envelope, good earner, or made episode?
Made. This is top notch. Made.
Rich.
Made episode.
This is a good earner for me. I thought we was going for 5. It's a made in the sense of series finales, but when you look at the AJ centric.
Like, what are you talking about, Mo?
It hurt the episode, bro. They put way too much on AJ. I can't.
But bro, the ending.
Think about. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This isn't one of those things. Hold on. I promise you, Mo. This is not one of those things where I'm going to try to convince you out your own thoughts. You believe what you believe, and that's cool. I will say this. This is just something to think about in real time. How will you feel about yourself if 5-10 years from now you look back and be like, damn, I can't believe I gave that a good earner. I can't believe I gave the finale of your favorite show of all time a good earner. Like, I know you have beef with it. I know you have issues, but is it really that deep to keep it away from me? And if it is, it is. I'm just saying, I know there are certain things where I'm like, damn, I can't go back. Like, you can't go back and do this over, Mo. This is lasting forever.
This is it.
And if it is, it is. Like I said, I'm not. I just want to make sure you're comfortable with it.
If it's made, bro, it's a low made, dude. Like the way it's different watching the show versus reviewing it. And once you review it, I realize like how much of this I did not like, bro. I realize like there's lure around it. There's the feel. If you really think about it, if we keep it a bean, it's the Phil getting killed and the cut to black. Everything else is blah. And Janice, and Tony and Janice. We got 3 things out of this whole episode. We ain't really. It's not really that great.
Those 3 things were amazing, though.
Really, and
we never got
in time. And that
the Tony and Janet shit. We never got that.
I get that. I promise you, I get that. But my thing is, the way we're doing this in this capacity, it's not a ton, bro. Like it's 3 things, but everything else is just filler. You could tell it's like, bro, James Gandolfini did a hell of a job. Let's go and finish this. Let's go and land this plane. This brother gave everything he's got. We need to go ahead and close this up. Let's go and wrap this joint.
It won an Emmy for outstanding writing. Like it's. I think you're being too harsh on it, and I think that in the future, I think you'll be disappointed that you gave it a good earner.
The thing is, bro. If there wasn't so much AJ, I would give it a made. I would go across the pie line and stretch the football across. But it's the AJ stuff. It hurt this episode because it's all of the AJ stuff is bullshit. And y'all kept driving it more and more, and we didn't need it anymore. And it takes away from the episode for me. It's like y'all put way too much on his back, like y'all building a backdoor pilot. So as a series, in comparison to all shows of all time, it's a made finale.
But I'm trying to get my Vinny Chase on right now. I'm trying to get my Vinny Chase on. You turtle, bro. You turtle right now. Like I'm buying. I know you sold your stock. I'm buying them back up because I know this is gonna hit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna give this back to you.
Rich,
Rich.
I knew what he was on.
We gotta get out of here for real.
The fit that he had on. I knew what he was on. I knew it. Yeah, I knew.
Bro, I
since
promise
Moden
you,
had a I knew what you was on.
This wanting it to be made. Going 5 for 5.
I knew what you was on when you ain't had like the suit jacket.
It's all a big nothing. What are you
came? When you came with the Scully and the blue jean jacket, I knew what you was on.
Hey man, it's all a big nothing. You know what I mean?
I will say this.
80 to 90%.
I will say this. It's a Mo thing to do. If nothing else, it's true. It's true to who you are.
I swear I wanted to make this made, but like the more I was watching it, I was like, dang, I'm not enjoying this. Like when I was like, damn, I'm not enjoying this as much as I want. I promise you, yo, genuinely, I was like, I was like, oh, here we go, we here, and we're building, we're gonna get filled, but like, and all that stuff was good, but then we kept going back to AJ. Then we get back into, we went back to AJ, and all that really took it away. Now, again, y'all, good earners, not just another envelope. Like good earner, that means it's a great episode. Like made is just a fire episode. Like, so for me, it wasn't fire in the context of how we look at Soprano shows, but it is fire how we look at finales overall in television. Spike Lou, who gets a good earner chain for this episode?
Good earner chain for this episode. Oof. The DA, what's my guy name?
Agent Harris.
Agent Harris. Yeah, Agent Harris.
I like it. That's a good one. Yeah. What say you, Rich?
That's a great question. It's rough. That's a rough one because it's not
It is.
We'll go with Walden. Walden got the good earner chain, man. That's something you can like. He'll be drinking to that story in the mob circles for years to come. Like I'm the man that took out Philly Tardo.
Facts.
I'm going Paulie Walnuts.
That's a good one. I thought about him.
Yeah, got to do that. He's a last soldier that's still around. Broken Balls. This could be Trips if we keep it a bean, but it could go another way. Spike.
Y'all go first.
Uh-oh. Rich.
Well, I gotta
go first. It's really 2 people. It's only 2 people for real.
You think about Phil?
Okay, that's one.
I'm assuming the other person might be. You think it's Tony?
That's it.
Mm.
There's
That's
part
it.
of me that wants to. There's a lot more candidates for broken balls than.
That's true.
So AJ's a candidate. Butchie's a
Is it?
candidate. Phil's a candidate. Absolutely. In my opinion, man. AJ blew up a $30,000 Hummer and is
Yeah, but
making
look
out
what
with a
look,
fucking 16-year-old.
he got a porno directing job though. Like he better be straight.
Still.
Think of like say what you just said one again and tell me where the good earner part comes in.
I ain't saying good
Right.
earn. I'm just saying they broken
No,
balls.
yeah, no, I got you. Well, yeah, it's all broken balls. I'm gonna give it to. Damn, man.
Mm-hmm. I can go now.
I feel like Phil is too easy.
Mm-hmm. The way Phil moved
You
to
kind
me
of got
make it like, you didn't move with your guys like Tony, so you wasn't covered. Kind of had it
I
covered.
gotta give it to Tony, man. I gotta give it to Tony mainly
Mm.
because, as I mentioned, even if you want to believe that Tony's still alive after all of this, Tony's still going down with the indictment coming. Tony still can be a target in the future. Tony still has no control over his family.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's still doing whatever he wants to. He has to enable that and make sure that he takes care of AJ and coddles him. He has nobody left. So if he is still alive, he has nobody left except for Paulie, who's hesitant to even do anything. No Seal, no Bobby. Kind of building from scratch, right? Now, Walden didn't earn himself a place in the higher ups. You win, but what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, there's an episode of the Boondocks. The episode of the Boondocks when the basketball episode when Tom tells a story about getting dunked on by like Chris Webber. And Riley said, he said, that's what you call winning? A nigga nuts in your face? I hate to see what you call losing. That's what I think about Tony. Like, well, if this is what you call winning, then what did you really win?
Facts.
So I got to give it to Tony because of all that.
I got Tony as well for everything you said. Spike. Broken balls.
Broken Balls Awards. Damn. What's my man name with the little eye from New York?
Butchie.
Butchie.
Yeah, Butchie.
With the little
What's
eye.
my man's name with the little eye?
Yeah, Butchie, man. Hey, he understood what had to happen for him to be moving on to.
But what made him take a L though? What you gave him the broken
He
balls?
took the L. He took the L in the sense of I ain't fucking with Phil, but also ain't fucking with Tony, and I gotta wiggle my way in.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna cost him later.
Yeah, like I gotta wiggle my way into both of them. Gotta fuck with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say
Rich.
Butch.
You could also give broken balls to women across the world for not being able to drive. Shout out to Meadow.
Damn.
Stupid.
Shout out to me. That's right. That's a
That
good.
is
That's a good one.
That's a statement.
That's a really good one.
Now, Rich, favorite quote.
Remember the good times.
Mm.
That's just. I mean, damn, we might win this. Is up there, but remember the good times because that's just the scene in which it takes place and just the weight of that quote.
Mm-hmm.
Like us at the end of this and just like, damn, we really finished this.
That's a
Like,
good one.
remember the good times
Mm-hmm.
because they could easily turn into bad.
Yeah. I'll go, Spike, while you're thinking of your quote. Uncle Junior. When Tony says you and my father, I used to run North Jersey. He's like, oh yeah? He's like, yeah. That's nice. That's nice. Wraps this whole show up. All of this just for the that's nice. So yeah, that's always like an underrated line that I really like. Who gets
Mine is
yeah? What you got?
my quote is we're gonna win this thing.
Good. It's a good one.
Yeah.
We're gonna win this thing.
And this is an incredible final shot. My goodness, this final shot in this episode is just Tony looking up at that door.
Yeah.
Iconic, man.
Facts.
I can't state that
Absolutely.
enough.
Yeah, as soon as people see that, they know what that means. Lastly, before we get out of here, favorite moment of the episode, Spike.
When Phil got his head rolled off. Like, damn. Yeah.
Ditto. Easy. Phil getting popped.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Hostins is a good one.
Hostins is a great one.
Sit down is really good.
Facts.
Yeah, I can't believe y'all didn't say this, but maybe y'all regret it once I go with this. Tony and Janice, bro.
Same way you regret your good. Same way you regret your good earning.
That's good.
That is a good one. There were some good moments
Tony
in
and
this.
Janice is
that's
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. And that is our episode for the last time when we talking about good earners in this sense of reviewing the episodes of The Sopranos. Man, truly, we thank y'all for tuning in. Just giving y'all the layout. We got something coming soon, as Rich has said. It's going to be in the fall. So, you know what? You know what I'm thinking, guys? Since we like on the spot and we about to end this whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop the reveal.
Let's do it.
All right. So the next episode, the next show that we're going to do is going to be